Live from Newman Stadium on the campus of Tulane University in uptown New Orleans, Cox Sports Television and Crescent City Sports are proud to bring you high school football. Tonight, two longtime rivals meet in a non-district matchup as the Newman Greenies take on the Country Day Cajuns. Hello, everybody. With Wade Kaiser, I'm Ken Berthelot, and tonight we'll see two of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the metro area and in the state of Louisiana. One's a freshman, the other is a senior, and we'll start with the senior, Wade. Justin Ibieta of Country Day. He can sling it.
He can sling it. That is right, Ken. Justin Ibieta of the Cajuns. He was last year's Crescent City Sports Player of the Year, threw 55 touchdowns. This year, Ken, he's already thrown 11. He's right on target to get that number again. He's outstanding, and he's going to give the Newman Greenies a problem tonight.
Now, the other one's a freshman, but his name is Manning, and that says it all.
Yeah, absolutely, it says it all. He's young. He's a freshman. You talk to his grandfather, you talk to his dad, you talk to his uncles. They just want him to be a freshman. They want him to grow into his shoes, right? Well, you talk to Nelson Stewart, the head football coach at Newman. He's one of the best 11 he's got out there on the field on his offensive unit. He's got to play. He won the job back in the spring. He's exciting. It's going to be fun to watch him tonight.
Yeah. Ibieta is a senior playing like he's a junior in college, and Manning is a freshman playing like a senior in high school. So it's really going to be fun to watch these two in action tonight. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. We're at Newman Stadium, and the shootout begins right here. After this, get set for kickoff on CST and CrescentCitySports.com.
The Ronnie Lamar used car superstore. When you walk in it, you're going to say, wow. For your lifestyle and budget in mind. It's not Wall Street money. It's Mealy Street money from Arabi, Louisiana, where I grew up as a kid. Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignment, struts, servicing your transmission, and we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. You're going to love the experience.
Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team.
High school football from Crescent City Sports on Cox Sports Television is brought to you by Lamarck Ford. See all the huge things happening at the big store in Kenner. By the All-State Sugar Bowl, sponsor of all LHSAA championship events. By NOLA Lending Group, your home field advantage. And by Riverlands Insurance, meeting all your insurance needs. And by Louisiana Dental Centers, your dental home team. Sunset over Newman Stadium, Tulane's campus, and the city of New Orleans on a beautiful evening for high school football. Ken Berthelot and Wade Kaiser, and this is going to be about as exciting a game as we have had in the month of September. And it starts with Country Day, their quarterback and their coach, Joe Chango. When people look at that guy, a Jersey boy, came to Tulane in the 90s, coached here, went back home to Jersey and said, I'm coming back to New Orleans. I love it. They say this guy can coach.
Yes, he can coach. I had the opportunity to be able to hire him a few years back at Jesuit High School. He's been with some outstanding coaches. I'm not putting myself in that number. I'm actually putting Frank Monica in that number because he was on Frank Monica's staff at St. Charles Catholic, and I had the opportunity to bring him with me to Jesuit a couple of years after I was there, and he came on and did a great job. He's offensive innovative, does a great job putting things in and packaging them well to the talent that he has.
Well, just like Chango, it's a return to Tulane for Nelson Stewart, who played at Newman. And, of course, he also went to Tulane, was on the 98 undefeated team here as a lineman. Means a lot to him to be at both alma maters.
Right. Well, you know, Nelson has always done a great job. He was on many staffs through many coaches, coming in with Reginelli years ago at Newman, and then he's graduated up got the head coaching job a few years ago and has done an excellent job with that Greeny program every year he's been a head coach.
Well, the weather is not as hot as it used to be. It's perfect for football, and these quarterbacks might be hotter than the temperature on Yeoman's turf tonight.
Well, okay, all right, 93 degrees, fine. It's been hot as hell. Felt like over 100 earlier, and it's warm down there on that turf. It'd have been extremely nice if we would have had a nice burst of a cool front to come through with a little autumn weather to meet oncoming October.
Tyler Williams is deep for Country Day as Will Hardy gets set to kick it for the Newman Greenies. It's a good foot into that one, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line, and that's where Justin Ibieta and company will get things started for the Country Day Cajuns. Ibieta, a senior, has just been fantastic. He's done everything that you could ask a quarterback to do, and he's thrown for 11 touchdowns on the year, only 2 interceptions. He's run for 1, but he's just a smart quarterback. Stephen Wagner is his running back. They like to run this one-back spread offense. He'll throw on first down, has a man open in front of the coverage, and it's caught by Tyler Williams for a first down.
Tyler Williams breaks his route off right in front of the 2-deep secondary of Newman, and Ibieta puts it right on the number. What a great throw right there. Take a look at it. Holds up with the protection right here. He sets his feet, looks off the safety, does a nice job, and you can see right there, Williams right in the center of those safeties. First down, Cajuns.
At the 45, first down. One play for a first down. Ibieta, good quarterback's eye as he looks at the field and hands off to Wagner, but the Greeny defense is there for it. Let's take a look at this Country Day offense. The starters brought to you by Riverlands Insurance.
Well, the guy you're going to want to see tonight, you'll see a lot of, was the guy that just caught that pass a couple of seconds ago, Tyler Williams. He's averaging 11.1 yards a catch, and he's a huge target. I mean, Ibieta is going to look for him all the time tonight, and he's going to have to come up big with the Cajun offense.
Senior, a lot of experience. He'll go to the sidelines, and it seems like the receiver and defender got caught up with each other. No harm, no foul. Let's take a look at the defenders for the Newman Greenies, brought to you by Riverlands Insurance.
Well, on the other side of the ball, Ken, you're going to want to find Brandon Williams. No relation, all right? Defensive end, the Virginia commit will get all the opportunities he wants tonight against the young, inexperienced offensive line of the Cajuns.
That's one of the battles we have to look at closely. The Tulane commit in Ibieta against the Virginia commit on the Newman defense. Oh, the quick in slant to Conwell, and Conwell has the first down as the Country Day Cajuns are just marching methodically down the field using the pass to get there.
We're going to talk a lot about this tonight. One of the things that we'll talk about later is how quickly will Ibieta have to get the ball out of his hands. And right there, he does it really quick on the slant route to an open receiver for a great pickup right there on a first down.
You can see the checks being made by Ibieta at quarterback, and trips down to the bottom of your screen. Blitz looks like it's coming, but flags thrown, and we have a false start on Country Day.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 2, 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Eddie Allamore is our referee and his crew tonight. Seen Eddie on a number of games. They do a good crew. They do a great job.
Ken, I was pointing out that wide trips down here, and you'll see the same formation again. Look how Newman's playing this. They're walking 1 under. They have 2 under, but the third one's way across the top. That gives a lot of leverage to the third receiver of Country Day.
Well, Ibieta.
Right there.
It's that third receiver, and once again, that's Conwell, and Conwell's got good yardage inside the 40-yard line and down to the 35. The 36 is where they'll mark it.
That was a great example of an RPO, Ken, right there, where they took the third receiver off of a run fake, reading the leverage of that outside linebacker I just pointed out to you. Boy, if I had a telestrator, I could have circled them for you. Right. But the RPO, here's a great look at the end zone. He's reading that outside linebacker right there, and he has leverage on the safety that's way back in the secondary. So that RPO, run-pass option, gave Ibieta a perfect pass read. He knew immediately after he got the step, he was going off of the fake to the number 3 receiver out there in the formation. Newman's going to have to make some changes with that tonight. They're going to have to do something. They watch for them to bring one of their safeties from the top of their defensive formation down into the box to play a 3rd receiver if Joe Chango and the Cajuns still give him a lot of 3 receiver sets.
Dylan Guillen was shaken up and will come out for at least one play. 2nd down, 5.
Number 2 receiver's really soft out here. Off the RPO, there it is again.
Little pressure was coming, but it was picked up well, and the throw to Tyler Williams. Williams on the far side, breaks some tackles. Look at Williams inside the 20, and more inside the 15. He's slippery and hard to bring down.
Ken, did you see the leverage right there the number 2 receiver had? They walked nobody out of the box to get some leverage on the number 2 receiver. On Williams, watch this, off the RPO, zap, it's out there now, out of his hands and gone. Couple broken tackles, and you got a great pickup right there by the Country Day receiver, Simmons. I mean, I tell you what, he's got a lot of speed, so if they get the ball out there to him real fast with leverage, he's going to be gone.
Ibieta is putting on a clinic, and this time overthrows Tyler Williams. But Ibieta, just the way he has run this offense from the time this drive started, has been something to watch.
Well, he's getting the ball out of his hands quick. They're using the RPO plays in their offense. They're attacking the 2 deep secondary with formations. And because of that, that's giving them the opportunity to get the ball with leverage on that secondary of Newman real fast, real quick, and the numbers are theirs. That's what's giving him the advantage right now.
Now watch, he shifted Williams up to the top, one-on-one coverage, and he's looking that way, and he'll go to Williams in the corner, and it's off his fingertips. He just can't pull it in. Tyler Williams, well covered that time by Sterling Scott.
Ibieta needed to put a little air into that ball. He needed to drop it to that pylon. The route should be ran right at the pylon. The ball should be dropped at the pylon. The only other way you're going to throw that route is as a back shoulder. He could have thrown it to his back shoulder and had a little bit better chance there. But no, he goes for the pylon. Should have put a tad bit of air under it. And actually, Williams had a step on the defender right there, so he did make the right choice with the pylon throw. Just needed to put a little bit more air under that. You know, the old drop it in the bucket play, Ken?
10th play of the drive, 3rd down, 10. Ibieta, will he run? No, he'll throw. Williams with a flag being thrown, makes the catch in the end zone, touchdown. But a flag's tossed, so let's see if the touchdown stands.
We're going to have interference. We're just going to see who's it off on. Did Williams push off or not? That's the huge question. Oh, they held him.
On the defense, number 7.
He was coming out of his break, and I'm sure the corner over there grabbed his jersey a little bit and yanked it to slow him down. It's a great route out there by Williams. A little out and in right there with the hold. Creates a great throw from Ibieta to a wide open wide receiver for the first score of the night, and it goes to the Cajuns. Excellent drive, excellent use of the RPO, excellent use of using receivers in formations versus out-leveraged secondary.
Andrew Lopez with the play after, it's good. His timeout,
9,
and
8,
Newman gets a chance
7,
with the football, but
6,
they trail Country
5,
Day
4,
7-0 at Newman Stadium,
2,
New Orleans.
1.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
For more than half a century, Gills Bar has offered services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com.
Country Days students celebrating as they watch their quarterback, Justin Ibieta, just engineer a picture-perfect drive down the field as his Cajuns take a 7-0 lead over the Newman Greenies. And in just a moment, we're going to see Arch Manning take over the Newman offense, and we'll see if the Greenies can answer that score with one of their own. Country Day bunched up here, and it looks as if Newman might be expecting, I thought for a moment they were expecting an onside kick to come out of that, but as Country Day widens out its kick team, so does Newman with the return team. And a good boot off the leg of Lopez. Puts it into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. And in comes Arch Manning, a freshman. And one thing you said in the open of this broadcast was that, and I think one of the most important things is the entire Manning family, including Dad Cooper and grandfather Archie, is making sure that he does not have to deal with the press, and at 15 years old can just enjoy being a freshman. But when we show you his numbers, and you're seeing him now on the screen, and you look at what he's done, he's not playing like a 15-year-old freshman. No. He's playing like a Manning. On first down, play action. Arch will throw complete. And there's a catch by Charbonnet, and that's what Arch can do. Here's the Newman offensive starters, brought to you by Riverlands Insurance.
Well, the guy you're going to want to watch tonight is right there on your screen, Jermone Sutherland. He is really awesome. I'll tell you what, the guy runs great routes. He's a huge target who has 7 TDs already on the season, and Manning loves to get the ball in his hands.
On 2nd and 2, he'll show it's more than just a passing game. Joe Pleasant right up the middle for a first down, and then a flag dropped at the 33-yard line.
Holding. Offense, number 87. 10-yard penalty. We play second down.
They got Will Randall on that with a hold. That young tight end, 6'2", 210. Saw him a few weeks ago against Bonneville. There's a good look at the hole. Oh, my goodness. That in wrestling, that's 3 points. Well, that's a freshman mistake. He needs to learn how to release that. Get his hands out of there, and he's getting taken out of the field. He'll get a little talking to as a freshman right there. But, you know, going back to Manning for a second, Ken, like you were saying, as the freshman, you want to keep him away from the press. That's a smart move. You know, he's got to learn, you know, how to handle that as he matures and gets older in the next 3 and 4 years. What he needs to concentrate on now is running the offense, learning the offense, understanding the offense, and all the little things that go along with being a quarterback at this level.
They come right back to Joe Pleasant, and look at the power in Pleasant. 5'9", 200, a junior. He's amazing. Let's take a look at the Country Day defense, brought to you by Riverlands Insurance.
Well, when you talk Country Day defense, Ken, you got to talk about number 7, the safety, Dylan Simmons. All right, two-way player. This returning starter will have to show up big tonight against Newman in order to be able to try to shut down this high-powered offense of the Greenies.
Manning flushed out. He'll run. Takes the hit and goes down at the 37-yard line, short of the first down. Tyler Williams.
You know, one of the things, Ken, about freshmen, watch Manning right here. Not there, not open. I'm out of here. I'm gone, and I am not going to slide. I am going to take a hit. It doesn't matter. One of the things he's going to get talked to about when he gets home is he's got to learn how to play that hook slide and get down.
Second down and just a little bit more than 4. Good slant in, thrown on the money and caught by Bo Adams, the backup quarterback and wide receiver, a senior. And he brings a lot of experience to both positions because he understands the role of both Andrew Lopez with the tackle. One thing we have to watch very closely here, both starting corners for Country Day are injured and out. And consequently, you've got Andrew Lopez, who's your kicker, starting at one of the corners, and Jack Schwing, a freshman, starting at the other, who's also a backup running back. So keep an eye and see if Manning picks on those corners in the end routes. He's going to stretch the field, go vertical with it, off the fingertips of John Charbonnet, incomplete.
Just a little overthrown. He had a step on the defender, C.D. St. Hilaire. Had a step on C.D. St. Hilaire right there. The ball was just a little high on the post route right there. We'll see it on the replay off the play action pass. A little too much air. You see the step right there he had? If that would have been on the money, caught in stride, he'd be standing in the end zone right now for a Newman touchdown.
2nd down and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Straight ahead. Pleasant gets some of the yardage needed for the first down, but not all of it, bringing up 3rd down and about 5.
Well, Pleasant's a strong runner. He's only a junior. He's rushed for 275 yards already this year. He's physical. He's strong. He's got strong lower body strength in his hips and his thighs. He carries people. We saw him 2 weeks ago at playing Bonneville, and he was carrying people later in the evening.
Yeah, you look at the frame that he's carrying right now, 5'9", 200, but it's all muscle, and he thought he could muscle his way for the first down right there, but Country Day said no. And on a big 3rd down stop, suddenly Newman looking at 4th down and 3. All righty, we will take the hydration break and be back with Willie Roaf in just a moment. Earlier tonight, Willie Roaf was down on the field for the centennial, or actually the celebration of NFL's Fantennial weekend celebration, celebrating 100 years of the NFL. And we're pleased to be joined here in the booth. Congratulations on that. We're pleased to be joined here in the booth by Willie Roaf, Louisiana Tech, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Louisiana Tech, and then drafted in the first round, 8th pick overall in 1993 by the New Orleans Saints. And but first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. Happy to be back, and it's great to see. And I didn't know what game we were coming to. I've heard a lot about Archie's grandson, so it's fun to watch him play some.
Well, while we watch Archie's son, stick with us for a moment and let's talk a little bit about this. And what does it mean just to be part of the NFL Fantennial celebration and celebrating 100 years of the National Football League?
It's great. I mean, just to be a part of it. I remember playing, and we had those 75th anniversary patches on our jerseys and how proud we were. But, you know, it's always good to come back and watch some football. I like watching. Last night I drove over to Colin Junior College and watched them get beat. But it was a good game, and my friend's D coordinator, so I'm going to see a lot of football this weekend.
Well, that's good. I tell you what, watching high school football, this has got to bring back some of the days at Pine Bluff.
It does, you know, I was just thinking about that, and I told somebody down on the field that I was, when I was high school, I was 225 pounds, so I was a little smaller then playing football, and I was real athletic, and I signed up going to Louisiana Tech, and I'm not the only Hall of Famer. Don Hudson went to my high school also.
Is that right?
Yes. Don Hudson.
That's awesome. That's a good point.
Yes.
What's special about Pine Bluff, the high school football and college football at Louisiana Tech, and then pro football, and the effect that it had on your life?
Well, you know, it was a big – Pine Bluff had some great teams, some great athletics and sports, toy hunter, baseball. But it just taught me a lot of work ethic. Our head coach went to the Citadel, and Louisiana Tech had a great coaching staff. You might know that one of the coordinators, our coordinator there, is at LSU now, Steve Vinsminger. We had a great coaching staff, and Pat Tilley and PDP Rowe and Bill Johnson helped with the D-line. Bill Johnson was there for a little bit, so we had a real good coaching staff. Joe Ferguson. So it just taught me the fundamentals, especially before I got to the NFL. And we passed the ball a lot at La Tech, so when I got to the league, I was well-rounded as far as pass protection, and we flip-flopped during the game.
2012 NFL Hall of Fame. I know that had to be one of the most special moments in your entire life.
It was. And my dad, my family, you know, when you go in the hall, your whole family goes in the hall. So you know, for when I know soon Archie will be happy because when those Manning brothers both go in, you know, that's your legacy for your family. So just to have your family and friends be a part of it, it was a special week.
When you saw Archie and Cooper tonight, they didn't ask you to put a uniform on and go down there and block for Arch, did they?
They were sitting up too high. They didn't tell them.
Well, you know, a few years ago, I had the opportunity to represent the state for the LHSAA Football Coach of the Year and representing the Saints. I got a chance to go up to the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. And I, of course, going through it, we were locked in there one night, all of us coaches, for about 4 hours. Okay, so we didn't have to fight the crowd. What was great was I got to see your busts and read all about you and the things that they had about you up there. What a great exhibition it is for all the stuff that they have for you up there.
It's unbelievable.
What a great honor.
And you know, at night those busts talk to each other. You know, they say that.
That's what they say.
Talk to each other, so they like to have a lot of fun when out there.
Well, exactly, and I can't imagine.
So you almost got caught when they were talking to each other.
Well, they had to run us out there. Yeah, we were the last ones. It was about midnight. They had to run us out. I think I heard some whispering.
Yeah, you did.
All right, as they measure, after Newman punted, as they measure for a Country Day first down, Willie, your most favorite memory or moment as a New Orleans Saint?
Winning that first playoff game in 2000, that was it. You know, getting the hump off our back, winning that, especially going against the Rams, who had won the Super Bowl the year before to knock them off, and they had the great Marshall Faulk and those guys. That was a big win for us.
Wow, well, that's special. And what's special is to see you spending time with kids and passing it forward.
Yeah,
playing it forward.
You got to give it back. You got to give it back, and hopefully they do the same thing with it.
Absolutely.
Good look at Joe Chango right there, and it's going to be 4th and inches. What would you do right here, Willie? Well, let's put it this way. I know what they'd do if they had a Willie Roaf sized offensive lineman dressed out. They'd go for it and just say, push.
I saw them before the game, and they look a little smaller than Newman. But if they want to sneak it right up the middle, it's real close. But, I mean, it's competitive. I thought I know Newman's supposed to be bigger and better. So this little team is fighting hard this Country Day.
Well, they have a great reputation, and they have a great rivalry with Newman. And the guy that really makes him go is the kid that's playing quarterback, the Ibieta kid, who signed to play right here at Tulane.
Oh, he did. Oh, yes, nice. He did. Yes, yeah. Good program. And J.J. McCleskey's on the coaching staff.
Correct, he is.
Receiver that I got drafted with, and I think he might sneak it.
They're going for it on 4th. They sneak. They get the push from behind. Forward progress. Was it enough? Was forward progress enough? It looks like the linesman is saying yes. It looks like he says he got it by a half yard, but first down. Move the chains. He got it with the sneak.
Yes. Well, we had the great opportunity to watch J.J.'s son play at St. Paul's for a few years. Okay. That's where he played across the lake at St. Paul's, and he's transferred back here to Tulane.
Yes, I saw him transferred back.
And he had a big catch here the other night. I don't know if you saw that on television, to beat Houston.
To beat Houston, yes.
Right, and I know he's happy to come back to play his final year of his eligibility with his dad. And J.J. McCleskey was an outstanding pro.
He was outstanding pro, tough guy, special teams guy, motivated, always a pro, coming to work on time, motivate and get everybody going. So, yeah, it was fun getting drafted with J.J.
Absolutely.
That Ibieta pass batted down by Joshua Capel. And I'm going to tell you what, it's good to see you doing things with the New Orleans Saints and staying so active. I know you and your wife, Angela, this city means a lot to both of you all.
It does. And Miss Benson is very special, Mr. Benson. And, you know, obviously coming back, I know Ricky Jackson and Street, and Miss Benson has on Tom's jersey tonight. I saw a picture with her with Tom's jersey on. So we got guys scattered all over the place this week. And anytime I come back and
offense number 7, 5-yard penalty. We play second down.
There you go.
Wayne and those guys, you know, they taught me right coming in the league.
There you go.
Well, I know it's special, and this entire year, tell us what else you have planned and what else the Saints have planned for you guys as you go along with this Fantennial.
Well, we're going to go. I'm doing the coin toss at the game. I'm the legend of the game Sunday, so I'm looking forward to that. We're going to have a good time and get them fired up. I'm from Arkansas. Jerry Jones is from Arkansas.
Jerry Jones, that's right.
You know, so it's going to be a real good game. If y'all can remember,
caught by Daniel Conwell for the first down, and a great pass by Ibieta. Conwell just turned around and waited for it, and bingo, complete.
Man, I'm surprised. But remember in 1998, Jake Holmes first started, we played the Cowboys.
And there's a little trivia for you. I had the opportunity to coach Jake Delhomme when I was at Turlings High School, and his older brother.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Are you going to ever share the secret of what you taught Jerry Jones so that he could be so successful?
I don't know. I hope he shares it with me so I can rub a little bit of that off on me. Uh-oh.
Can't do that, can you?
No, I don't. You don't want to do that. You don't want somebody yelling at you from the sideline.
Somebody's on you. Yeah. Somebody's on you.
Exactly. Ball start. Offense number 7. 5 yards penalty. We play first down.
And then it's going to be even worse the next day in film.
Yes, it is going to be so. And you might be running the next day.
Right. Exactly.
We're talking
or getting fined.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Well, you can't find you in high school.
In high school. Yeah. There you go. I was talking about
college. You're talking about NFL.
Right. I'm talking about the NFL.
And we are talking with Willie Roaf, the Pine Bluff High School, Louisiana Tech, New Orleans Saints, great Hall of Famer, Arkansas Hall of Fame, Louisiana Hall of Fame, Louisiana Tech Hall of Fame, New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame. And I want to reiterate the fact that you are going to be the legend of the game, which means you'll be probably in the New Orleans Hall of Fame before the game with Ken Trahan and all of that group?
With all that group,
good.
Yes. We will be on the field getting them ready.
So people can come in and talk to you, see you, get autographs prior to the game.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm not sure about that. I know I'm on the field before the game, and I have some appearance before. Yes, you are
That's
correct.
probably in the NFL
yes,
Hall
you
of
are
Fame.
Correct.
I'm sorry, the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame.
Ken, I don't know if you noticed this, but they've gone down to a 1-high safety. They started the game in a 2-high safety, and Ibieta was picking them apart. So what they've come now is tightened up. Right, they've come down and tightened up their coverage a little bit on their wide receivers, where if we remember at the start of the game, Country Day was outflanking them with a 2-high secondary.
Blocking the back. Offense number 23.
Can't do that
10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Well, Ibieta had the scramble.
Right. But if you noticed right there, Newman has made an adjustment somewhere on the sidelines and gone to a 1 safety high look. There's a good look at Nelson Stewart, who played right here at Tulane. Can't push anybody in the back either.
He looks a little. I thought that might be Matthew McConaughey's cousin when I looked at him from
you
the side.
think? You glanced at him, huh?
Yeah, from the side. I looked at him on the field.
Did he say, all right, all right, all right? No, Nelson played right here. He was an offensive lineman here at Tulane back in the day. Yes, he was.
Way back now, second down and 23 from the Country Day 35. They'll just keep it on the ground for a little bit of safety. Stephen Wagner on the run for a few, bottled up.
Country Day will run the inside zone scheme, Willie. If you notice right there, they try to run the inside zone scheme from a weak set right there. And the only problem is they have a hard time blocking the Williams defensive end from Newman, who is a Virginia commit. He's 6'3", 220. He's one of the top recruits in the state of Louisiana. He's down there playing on the Country Day left-hand side of their line.
On third down, Ibieta. Can he pull this play up? No. Well, Willie Roaf, we want to thank you very, very much for stopping by and wish you the best of luck on Sunday. I want to remind fans, Willie will be down on the field and probably in the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame prior to that with his wife, Angela. Hope you guys can stop by, visit Willie, and cheer on those Saints right now. Hey, Drew will be cheering them on, and Teddy Bridgewater. Get it done.
2 of my kids that went to St. Martin will be with me as well.
They will?
And
awesome.
My daughter is coming. She's with me in Florida, but she's coming back for this and to go to St. Martin's dance to hang out with her friends.
There you go.
Yeah, she's looking forward to it.
That's awesome.
So Country Day to punt on 4th down and long. They'll just get that ball away, and it will not be returnable. And as Newman gets set to go, Willie, thank you for stopping by and chatting with us. We really appreciate it. Great to have the great Willie Roaf. 4 Halls of Fame, and we'll be back with Newman in the football right after this.
42 years in a row. Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Your home for the best in coverage of pro, college, and prep sports in the New Orleans area is CrescentCitySports.com. Whether it's news, opinions, live video webcasts of high school sports, or Louisiana's best prep football scoreboard, you can get it all at Crescent City Sports. The name may be new, but it's the same great coverage you've gotten for years from our team of New Orleans natives. Click it now and like us on social media. at CrescentCitySports.com.
Here are tonight's Keys to Victory, presented by Lamart Ford. Our keys to victory are Wade Kaiser for the Newman Greenies.
Oh, well, for the Newman Greenies, what they're going to have to do offensively, they're going to have to be able to get, play a full 4 quarters of this game. They haven't really had to do that so far this year. They're going to have to put full 4 quarters together. We'll come back to the other ones after this play right here, Ken, and I'll give you the...
And that's a pass to Jarmone Sutherland, and he can make things happen when he touches the football. And more on our keys to the game.
Right, and I said I'll give you the defensive keys for the Greenies. It's really simple. All right, they're going to have to find a way to keep Justin Ibieta in check. That's the bottom line. Now, for Country Day, they've got to get the ball out of their hands quickly. I said we're going to talk more about that tonight. That was one of the big keys we saw in that first drive by the Cajuns. But for the defense, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to create tough situations for a freshman quarterback. They just can't give him the same coverage every time. They've got to get his mind thinking. If they can get him thinking, maybe it'll slow down his reaction time, and they can get the upper hand on a young freshman quarterback.
All right, the keys to the game again were brought to you by Lamart Ford, and that pass was completed to Pike Phillibert for the first down. So Arch Manning and company has a new set of downs to work with. And he'll just take it down the field to Bo Adams, the freshman to the senior, for a big gainer and another first down.
Well, Bo Adams is 6'2", okay? And if we get a chance to look at it again, you're going to see him just out-jump a smaller corner out there. I think that's Andrew Lopez that's out there trying to defend, and Andrew Lopez comes up to about Bo Adams' waist.
And you're picking on the corners. Remember, Andrew Lopez is a kicker starting in the corner because your starting corners are injured, incomplete, intended for Pike Phillibert. Your normal starting corners are Robert Bridgewater and Edward Lombard, but both are injured. Both cannot start this game, so you've got a kicker starting in one corner, and you've got a freshman in Jack Schwing starting in the other. So if you're watching on TV, watch for the blue jerseys, number 22 and 42. Those are the inexperienced corners.
And if you'll also look, they've made a slight change in their secondary. Country Day is now playing Tyler Williams on.
Good play action to Pleasant. And on the final play of the first quarter, Sutherland couldn't hold it. So with that, we will take a break. We have played 1 quarter here, and we were expecting a shootout. Instead, it's a 1-touchdown lead for Country Day, 7-0 over Newman.
Tell me about it. The kids need braces, I need a root canal, and Dad's old dentures are broken. That means 3 dental appointments all across town.
Bobby Abear?
Mom, you need to call Louisiana Dental Center. They see kids and adults and have specialists at every location. They even have Friday and Saturday appointments.
That's great. I'll call him now. But who's going to do the dishes?
Yeah, I know, me and my big mouth.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
As we start the second quarter, boy, we've got some Country Day changes on defense. Wade was explaining. Wade, continue.
Well, the thing I was trying to point out real quick before we broke away to the quarter is they've got a matchup change out there. The Cajuns have moved the better athlete, Tyler Williams, which we've talked about earlier tonight, especially on their offensive side of the ball. They moved him out there to cover as a corner Jarmone Sutherland, of the Newman Greenies, who is their top flight receiver. So where is the mismatch? The mismatch we saw just a few minutes ago down at the bottom of your screen. You'll see it here in a second with Bo Adams lined up on Andrew Lopez. So look for the Greenies to go to Bo Adams a lot more tonight than Sutherland.
Third down 10. Manning with the toss. He's got Sutherland at the 30. He fights for the first down, fights for it, but will be denied. Oh, Jarmone Sutherland with some great tackling by Country Day's Tyler Williams and others held Newman from the first down.
Well, that's the reason why you saw Williams out there. Take a look at it for the tackle right there. It's going to prevent him from getting the first down. But the reason why they moved him out there, Ken, it's pretty simple. It's athlete on athlete. They're going to give him some cushion. What they're saying is, Sutherland, you're not going to beat us deep. We'll give you the short throw, and we're going to come up as fast as we can and make a tackle because I'm as good as an athlete as you are.
4th and 1. They're going for it. Trailing by 7.
Look at the cushion at the top
early
of the
in the
screen.
second quarter. Manning with the keeper. A hesitation, and he's got the first down. Inside the 25. Manning can also do it with his feet. It's not just a bazooka arm.
Well, he's got no fear. He gets that from his grandfather. His grandfather could run the ball well in high school as well as in college. That's off the zone read. The end comes down on the fake by the back. And what does Manning do? He rips it out and takes it to pick up the first down.
Flags are thrown, and that's going to be defensive encroachment into that neutral zone. So
defense number 54. 5-yard penalty. Play first down.
That was number 54, Scott Isaac, who jumped off sides right there. Two-way player, offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Now, you got to remember, we're looking at 1A teams here tonight and 2A teams. You're going to see a lot of guys on both sides of the ball. So instead of just taking 50 snaps on one side, these guys are taking 100 snaps on both sides. This is the way the high school game is meant to be played.
Two-way football, just like the old days. Good slant in to Bo Adams, and Adams is inside the 10-yard line before being brought down by Tanner Fall.
Again, picking on the side where there is the athletic mismanagement or advantage, should we say, right there. So they're picking on Andrew Lopez down here rather than going to the
and
top.
Newman picking up the pace to Pleasant, and Pleasant out of the backfield. Joe Pleasant in for the touchdown. They went a little faster there, Wade.
They picked up pace real quick. What they did is they came out, checked the sidelines real fast, and went on a quick count, trying to wear down Country Day's defense. Again, most of these guys are going to take 100 snaps tonight for the Cajuns, so trying to go a little bit quicker is going to put a little bit more stress on those legs.
Will Hardy, who has been perfect on point afters all year, attempts his 11th of this young season and nails it. We're tied at 7. Country Day and Newman will be back right after this.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
Having a collision center on the premises where you sell new and used vehicles is a dream come true. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. It's open now. One thing about us, we strive for perfection. Our pre-owned department is magnificent. We are Kelly Blue Book authorized dealer. All makes and models, we're buying them every day. We will purchase your vehicle. We will pay off your existing loan, whether you buy a car or not.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
The Newman contingent excited that Arch Manning has led his team to a tie game 7-7. You were talking earlier about players going both ways. Newman has a 73-man roster as a AA team, and Country Day has only 42 players rostered, and 3 JVers standing on the side with those 42.
Well, what that equals out to, Ken, is Newman has the advantage, obviously, to be able to spell some kids and be able to play some kids only, one side of the ball. So you're not taking as many reps on those legs.
Now, for
So
Country Day,
that's
that's doubling up their roster. They were in the high 20s last year as a 1A school. Hardy with the boot. Last drive, 9 plays, 75 yards, took 4 minutes and 45 seconds.
But, you know, Joe Chango's not afraid to play anybody from the standpoint of the size of their schools. You know, last week they beat Episcopal. You know, next week they got St. Martin's in district. You know, I think they played East Jefferson earlier in the year.
And beat them. And that's a 1A playing a 5A.
So, I mean, when it gets down to numbers, plus it's a scheduling thing. You know, they coming off the 11-1 year last year, getting beat in, I believe, is the quarterfinals. You know, or the semifinals, I'm sorry. You know, the big thing is you got to find games. Newman's back to their too high set. They're out leveraged down here at the bottom by the three receivers.
Ibietta's already 100 yards passing. Saw his numbers just a moment ago, and Conwell has that catch for another first down, so that will just add more yardage to Ibietta's numbers.
Ibietta gets rid of that ball fast.
Sharp.
He gets rid of the ball fast. He gets it in his hands, gets it out. I told you that was one of the keys he's going to have to do tonight. He's going to have to get rid of the ball fast because they're mismatched on their offensive line with the Newman defensive line. So once he catches the ball, he's got to be able to throw that quick game, whether it's slants, fades, outs, hitches, get it out of his hands fast.
RPOs. With a couple of big catches. You saw a good shot of him just a few moments ago. And that to Stephen Wagner, the running back, swinging a pass to him out of the backfield, but didn't fool Newman. He got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it. Sterling Scott with a good extra yard saving tackle.
I like the idea of going to the back out of the backfield. That's nothing different than running a toss sweep right there, Ken. It's a nice safe throw. You get it out of your hands quick. Great play by the Newman secondary coming up for the stop right there by Sterling Scott.
Look at this, in traffic, and a super catch. All you saw was white jerseys around Tyler Williams, and somehow Tyler pulls it down, and that's just senior experience.
There's a good look at your quick stuff again right there. That's the 90 game. That's football terminology, the 90 game. 90 series quick slant right there. Ibietta catches the ball. Great route right there with a little cushion. He gets rid of it very fast. It doesn't put a lot of pressure on your offensive line because all you got to do is be able to set real fast. It keeps the defensive rush out of your face. Balls away. Nice pickup right there. Puts it in a real manageable third down.
Good look at Williams. Now he'll go for Conwell again and drops it right in his hands. Drop the time. And that's as pretty as it can be to Daniel Conwell. And they'll move the chains again on a big gainer.
Well, he sprints right there with a little bootleg action and just drops the ball over the corner's shoulder. Trying to defend that right there for the Newman Greenies was number 27. I'll find his name for you. Number 27 right there, Jeff Amos.
That's just as big-time play as you can ask a quarterback to make. And you can see why Tulane fans are very excited that he has made the commit to Tulane to play there for his college career. And we'll throw that one into a crowd, and that one slapped away.
Great play by Jeff Amos right there. Right there, he gets burned over the shoulder by the bootleg fade route, comes right back and makes a great play on a slant route to deflect that pass, which if it would have been connected, it'd have been Cajuns in the end zone for 6. Take a look at the number from a year ago from Ibietta. I talked about a little bit in the pregame right there. Look at those numbers. The rushing yardage, the passing yardage.
Yeah, this isn't career now. This is last season.
This is last season. He's a dual threat. 17 rushes as a team for TDs. He also had 55 passes for TDs last year, too.
Well, you like that swing pass out of the backfield, and they went to it again, but unsuccessful. Got to catch it. Look at Joe Chango.
Chango knew he had him. He knew he had him. Look at this.
He had the
Look
perfect
at the cushion out there. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh,
do you see anybody in the picture up in front of him?
No.
No.
Wide open.
He would have made it at least down inside the 10-yard line. Chango knew that. He knew he missed a big one right there.
And you saw the expression on the coach's face. So that'll bring up 3rd down, 10 for Country Day right here. They got to move the chains. Need to get down to about the 21-yard line. Good inside slant to Conwell, but he's short of the first down. This is probably 4-down territory because they're out of field goal range here.
Well,
too close to punt, and
correct.
It's 4th and short.
Now, Lopez, I was watching him in pregame. He's got a nice leg. He could possibly kick this, so it's going to be interesting to see what Joe Chango decides to do. He made one from 50 in pregame down on the field watching them. Looks like he's going to keep the offense on the field and go for it.
Yeah, a little bit longer than short. It's 4th and 7. But again, the way Ibietta can sling that football, and Chango knows that, 4th and 7 is just one good slant in or sideline pattern. And with that, we will have timeout.
Looks like Joe wants to talk about it. He tells his quarterback, I don't know if you saw it on the monitor there, your monitors at home, but he's yelling at his quarterback. He says, run the clock down, we're calling timeout, in that New Jersey accent.
A Jersey boy. And, you know, he's an interesting story because he grew up as the 4th of 5 kids in a family whose father loved football, started the Pop Warner League in Jersey and played 11 years of Pop Warner, Little League football, high school football, came here, was tired of football, comes to Tulane, just wants to be a student and have fun. 2 or 3 years in, he realizes, man, I made a mistake. And he decides, you know what, I've been out of it for a while, I want to go into coaching. Calls the coach at De La Salle.
Right.
And coaches there for 97, 98, and or 98, 99, whatever it was, a couple of years in there. Then eventually joined you guys at St. Charles Catholic.
Well, I was on my way out at St. Charles Catholic. I was leaving St. Charles Catholic at the time. I was moving on. One of the best coaches in the state of Louisiana, if not the best, Frank Monica, was coming in, and I said, Coach Monica, I said, you need to talk to this guy, Joe Chango. He just gave me a call. I interviewed him a little bit. He'd be a great guy to bring in on your staff, and he did. And then the rest is history. You know, when you talk about Joe Chango having fun at college, he had a lot of fun.
You bet. Oh, he's got the man with a catch going way up there. You go to your ace, Tyler Williams, and he makes the miracle catch with great coverage being provided by Sterling Scott. Watch it.
Watch him drop the ball in. Watch him drop it in on the outside shoulder right here. Great chance for Tyler Williams to use his athletic ability to block out the defender and go up and catch that ball at its peak point.
What a throw, what a catch.
Top point.
1st and goal for Country Day. Oh, he's got the man wide open. Daniel Conwell just slanting in. Touchdown, Conwell. And Country Day has retaken the lead to the approval of their fans here in Yeoman Stadium.
That route was too easy. Coverage too soft down there inside the 5-yard line. 3-step slant, bang, delivered on the numbers. That was like stealing candy on Halloween night. It was so easy for Ibieta to put that ball right on the numbers for a great score for the Cajuns.
Now whistles blow before Lopez and flags are thrown before Lopez can get that kick off.
Flag to the snap, false start. Offense number 10. Replay the try.
Now it becomes a
25-yard extra point.
25-yard extra point. It backs it up right there. That hurts. Kid's got the leg, though. Lopez has a leg. Shouldn't be a problem, but it's just the whole idea of what you do day in, day out at practice to not have these type of mistakes take place.
And look, we talk about players playing both ways. You like some of your players to play, but not your kicker, because he needs that extra oomph in the leg. And see, that 25-yard extra point made a difference. No good.
I think that was blocked.
Yeah, somebody got a hand on it.
Somebody came off of, we'll see it on the replay here, somebody came off the Country Day right edge and blocks a huge point after touchdown right there.
A 9-play, 75-yard drive that went 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Another look at the, 56 got the block, I believe.
It was 56 in there and 42. That was Brandon Williams. The Virginia commit comes in off the Country Day right edge, Newman left, and gets a paw on that puppy, and it just doesn't make it. And that's a huge point.
Well, it is, because a game like this, when both offenses can score and they haven't scored as many points in the first half as we thought they might, they start scoring. Look out.
Well, that was all Ibieta right there. They had a couple nice catches, but the throws Ibieta made on that particular drive were just outstanding. If anybody's questioning whether this guy can come up to Division I, Tulane commit, and press to play early, that showed it right there. And Joe Chango, talking to him before the game, said he thinks he can come up and press to play early here at Tulane.
Well, you know, he chose Tulane because his dad, Juan, played baseball there, played football there in the 90s, baseball and football. Also, his sister, Jenna, is a volleyball player on the current Tulane volleyball team. They're playing tonight, as a matter of fact. And good leg by Lopez. Here is tonight's Alumni Spotlight, looking back on great players in these programs' histories, brought to you by the NOLA Lending Group. Can any school match the 3 skill position players that Newman has produced over the last quarter century? Peyton Manning is headed to Canton in 2 years. Younger brother Eli has 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and Odell Beckham Jr. is still in his prime, but now with the Browns in Cleveland. What a history this program has. But I'll tell you what none of them have been able to get. And that Joe Pleasant, Arch Manning, and especially the top receiver, Jarmone Sutherland, want more than anything in the world. And that is a state championship trophy. Numbers on Arch.
Take a look
looking
at Arch.
good.
Yeah. Take a look at the numbers right now for Arch tonight. 8 of 11, 84, 1 touchdown. But they're mixing the run in. They're doing a nice job mixing the run in. So you're seeing a huge difference in the difference between Ibietta's numbers and Manning's numbers.
And Pleasant is getting these gaping holes to run through and making the most of it, coming close to a first down there before being stopped by Scott Isaacs, the sophomore. Look, they're going faster now. They're going to pick up the pace just a little bit. Manning's got him to the line quickly. Second down. Short yardage, just one. Oh, hit, smack, and drop. Stephen Wagner.
Stephen Wagner stepped right in that hole and put a licking on that.
He's a senior.
Right there. Pleasant steps up into the hole and he runs right into Wagner. Hello, how do you do? That's a great play by the senior defensive lineman.
All right, we have reached the 6-minute mark of the second quarter, which means hydration break time. So we'll take a break with the players as you watch Arch Manning. Still a lot to talk about this young man when we come back. Third down, 1. A big one on third because it's the difference in having to give that ball up. Manning, good play action, scrambling, looking. Can he fight? Can he fight? He makes the first down. Good dive at the very end by Arch Manning to move the chains and keep the drive alive.
Remember we talked, Ken, about giving Manning different looks and different movements, and not only in the secondary, but they're also, Country Day is doing this up front with their front 6. Covered with 5, 6 in the box. They brought an all-out blitz by their 2 linebackers right there, which kind of confused Manning a little bit, and he pulls the ball down and takes off on the run.
Likes that slant in to Bo Adams, and Adams can't. Oh, a late flag is thrown as Adams couldn't haul it in. Andrew Lopez.
Right. Andrew
covering.
Lopez comes in physically. Let's see what our official has to say here real quick.
Got it. Legal man downfield. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Okay, Andrew Lopez right there on the slant route comes in and physically handles up right there on the Newman receiver, which was Bo Adams. Bo Adams drops the ball right in his hands. I like how Country Day is changing their coverages. They're changing their looks. And you know what they're doing, kid? These guys in their secondary are playing physical on these Newman receivers. They're not backing down from them. Somebody told them, all right, somebody told them, hey, be physical. And that's what they're doing.
Well, moving it back makes it first down and 15. Slapped that ball away and getting a hand on it is big Scott Isaacs, the sophomore, one of the returners at that position. So good, experienced starter.
Well, we're going to see it hopefully on our replay here. There's Scott Isaac. Watch this. On the short passing game, you stop your tracks and you jump. That's what they teach at every level. That is great coaching right there by that Country Day defensive line coach and Joe Changle and his staff.
Second down long. The long being 15. They're going to go to that favorite slant into Bo Adams, and Adams has it but gets a penalty yard. He gets that back and a little bit more before being tackled by Carter Boron, the junior.
Great throw by Manning, puts it right on the money, but the minute the receiver catches the ball, there's no yak. Yards after catch. Country Day's guys are making physical tackles and not allowing the Newman receivers to get that yak.
Well, sometimes when you make that jump and you can't get back, you know everybody sees it and it's too late. Randolph French, the senior defensive end.
Encroachment, defense number 70. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
The minute in high school football, Ken, we've always said this, and I like to explain it for our friends at home.
That's called the coaching moment we're watching?
I didn't see it. What's Joe yelling at somebody? Yeah, he'll yell at somebody. Right. But the minute you jump into that neutral zone, if you're a defensive player, they're going to kill the ball right there, and it's automatic 5-yard mark-off. It's a safety feature by the Federation.
And when you give a guy like Pleasant 3rd and 3 and he swings wide and pulls in a quick pass, he'll make the first down as he just did. Tyler Williams bringing him down.
Getting the ball out of his hands quick. Both teams like to do that. Again, throwing the swing pass out of the backfield to Pleasant. What that does is it gets you a perimeter game. You might not run the ball on the perimeter, but you can sure toss it out there real fast, and it's just like running it out there. You've got a perimeter game. Now it forces your defense, Ken, to have to play sideline to sideline horizontally also.
Pleasant swings out of the backfield, leaving an empty backfield for Arch Manning, and here comes some pressure, but Manning's got a man, sees him, and nails it. Inside the 25, hits Jermone Sutherland. Tyler Williams finally makes the stop, but with an empty backfield and the pressure coming, to watch the smoothness of Arch Manning was something special here.
Great adjustment by Newman. They motion the back out of the backfield to get the corner out of the way, move him out there as the number 1 wide receiver. What that does, that leaves Sutherland in there with all of that cushion on the safety, which was Tyler Williams, with a lot of room to run. Great throw and great pass right there. Great pickup by Newman.
Timeout called, and as the teams talk about it, we'll take a timeout with them. Back to Yeoman right after this with Happy Newman fans.
Toothache.
Gingivitis.
Plaque.
Cavity.
Tartar.
Tooth decay.
Gum disease.
Abscess tooth.
What's that?
A feeling.
Not a frown.
A bridge?
You mean I need a root canal?
Come on, man.
The only thing worse than hearing those words is hearing that your dentist can't see you right away. Call Louisiana Dental Center. We'll see you today.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Now the Glazer Family Club, filled with fans of both teams, Newman and Country Day. And if you haven't watched a Tulane game or a high school game from there, you're missing something special. That's the place to be.
Well, it's a beautiful stadium, a great place to watch football.
Country Day, of their starting 11-9, play both ways. You have to wonder if they're getting just a little tired because maybe they lose a step like they did just now. Bo Adams, the senior wide receiver, backup quarterback on that inside slant before being tackled by Carter Boron.
Well, they're going back to the mismatch that they have on Bo Adams out there on the quick passing game. Trying to defend him is Andrew Lopez, who is also the kicker, who is also the starting corner tonight.
Yeah.
So you know his legs are a little bit tired.
Manning to Pleasant. And Pleasant, again, does a great job of just peeking the hole and running to daylight and finding something when it looked like nothing might be there down to the 6-yard line.
Well, that's that senior-laden Newman offensive line that has opened up the holes on that inside zone running game for the Greenies.
Morgan back at the 7, 2nd down.
They definitely have a size advantage too, Ken. I think we talked about that earlier tonight.
Just look at that offensive line. Good shot of it right there. Manning being chased. Does he see it? He'll just toss one and hope it's caught. Bobble. Caught after the bobble. Touchdown. Oh, my goodness, the bobble and the catch by Pike Philibert. It looked like Sutherland might be able to get it, and they'll just congratulate each other that it turned out that way.
Well, Ken, first thing, you had 2-on-1 out there and a huge mismatch. So the ball was in the air to Sutherland. It gets tipped into the air. Here's a throw from Manning. He avoids the rush by Wagner right there. There's the tip. Oh, it's the defensive back. Gets his hands in there. That's Tyler Williams. Gets his hands in there, knocks it away. Instead of knocking the ball down, he tips it up, and it falls right into Pike Philbert's hands as a surprise. Touchdown, Greenies. Remember, knock the ball down, Ken. Don't tip it up. Never knock the ball down up.
And
always
Hardy
knock it down.
With the point after. It's good, 14-13. Another look at this score.
Here we go. Manning off the play action. He gets pressured right there by Wagner. Look at the throw in the air. They got two out there on one tip. Down, not up. And hello. Touchdown, Greenies. Pike Philbert, number 20.
Yeah,
oh, is he happy? Look at that.
It's a gift.
Absolutely.
And you've got to take it. Pike Philbert, the junior, you work on that, and it's his second touchdown of the season, so you know he is happy and feeling it. And hey, with the extra point, we talked about it being important. Newman is now in front by an extra point.
I guarantee right now over on that sidelines, the Country Day defensive coordinator is talking to Tyler Williams and saying, how many times do we tell you never tip the ball up, never knock the ball up, bat it down.
And this young man, Pike Philibert, just enjoy all the high fives, the congratulations, the low fives, because that's the way it's done.
Look at that, smiles all over his face. That's awesome for that young man. Get that ball coming right into his lap.
An 11-play, 80-yard drive, took 4 minutes and 46 seconds off the clock, and the tip drill touchdown. So Will Hardy, he's put them all deep into the end zone. Had Country Day starting from their 20. Let's see if he does so again. He'll allow the return this time. And Tyler Williams on the return. Gets him a little bit of breathing room. So what does Joe Chango have up his sleeve here with Justin Ibieta, who's been so perfect? Look, it's been a touchdown matching game. The difference here is an extra point.
Get the ball out of your hands quick. Get it into your receiver's hands. Let's see if we can get some more matchups on the secondary of Newman. Let's come in and execute the game plan as we did starting in the first quarter. And again, they go back to their 3-by-1 set. Newman's still in a 2-high coverage, and they have the numbers down here at the bottom of your screen. 3-on-2.
3-on-2 with a roving safety moving in. Ibieta saw it, saw the coverage close. He'll just tuck the ball under after the fake pump run for the first down with a nifty move at the 35 and goes down at the 40 after moving the chains, and that's a little bit vintage footwork by Ibieta.
I'm surprised by his speed. He doesn't look like he's moving very fast, but he glides, picks up the yardage. He has that deceptive speed. He's physical. He's another one that's got to learn how to hook slide.
Ibieta on the ground, 35, 221, good numbers. And he'll keep it again. Ibieta around the left side, another first down, remove the chains. As you watch Ibieta move the ball, both either through the air or on the ground, pushed out by Joshua Capel. One of the things I think Tulane fans, if they're watching this game tonight, are going to be excited about is this is a quarterback that's showing he can play the Will Hall offense at Tulane. That's where he's committed to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's got that deceptive speed.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at him run, then all of a sudden he's picked up 5, 10, little straight arm right there. He picks up 15 and picks up the first down.
He's been to the Tulane camps. Joe Chango's worked with or talked with Will Hall. They know what he needs to do as a senior to get ready for that Tulane offense, and I think he is showing he is ready to do just that. Stephen Wagner finally stopped by Wade Politz.
They get the ball out to Wagner real fast on the little, I guess you say, flare pass, check down route. Any way you look at it, it's a toss sweep, and you're working on the flanks right there with a lot of room out there for him to run, and he picks up a nice 5-yard gain.
Ibieta with the pump fake, tucks it under, and he'll move the chains one more time, and it finds the tackler. Again, he's elusive. Down to the 30. Will Hardy on the tackle.
A couple guys from Newman missed the tackle right there. They dropped their head. You can't do that. Let's see if we can see it on the playoff again. Right there, it's not open. He takes off. Look at the two guys right there. He runs right through them. They have their heads down. Here's another look from the end zone maybe, or ground level.
This is a great move coming up.
Both guys right there, right. Both guys right there, though, they missed the tackle because their heads down. That's just bad fundamentals on behalf of those two Newman defenders. Get your heads up. Got to see what you're going to hit.
Crescent City Sports thanks Reginelli's Pizzeria for their support of tonight's telecast. Reginelli's with 10 locations in Metro New Orleans, the North Shore, and Baton Rouge. Stop by after the game. They're open till midnight, Fridays and Saturdays. And I'll tell you, if you haven't had a pizza from Reginelli's Pizzeria, then you're missing something special. The Try-It style. They got the Try-It style pizza.
Yes, we have. We've had. I like the Reggie. After my good friend, Reggie Reginelli.
Ibieta, we was given his numbers earlier, 41 yards on this drive alone on the ground. 41.
I mean, he's athletic. He's a three-sport player. He's at a school where he can excel at all three, and he's showing his athletic talent tonight.
And they'll hit Conwell. Conwell stopped immediately. Flags are down. How much you want to bet that I would say that Tulane's offensive coordinator, Will Hall's probably somewhere watching this game tonight. Maybe on TV.
I'm sure he's sitting here because they...
Holding. Offense number 7. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
And I'm not sure. Are they in town tomorrow? Is Tulane in town
Tulane's
tomorrow?
off this week.
Tulane is off this week.
They're open this
All
week.
right,
Tulane and LSU both open this week.
All right. So, yeah, you're right. Will Hall's somewhere sitting here watching this tonight.
Talking to Joe Chango. I asked Joe, based on the fact that you're doing with your offense things that are important for Justin Ibieta to be ready to learn and to play Tulane football, I said, would he be able, if needed, to start as a freshman? And Chango said, I would be surprised. He said, sorely surprised if he didn't. Now, that's a head coach talking about his quarterback, but he believes that much talent exists in this young man, that he's ready to play at that level, and it's an amazing story as to why that might happen. Stephen Wagner on the little toss-out. Hugie makes the stop.
Well, there's a few things Joe Chango said to me before the game, a little bit about a few of the packages that they're using here now in the Tulane offense, that he's adapted to his offense at Country Day. And
that's to help him out.
Right, Justin Ibieta has picked him up very good.
Look at this toss into traffic, and Conwell had to come back for that one, a little underthrown, couldn't hold on to it, but he's not afraid to go against a double team and try to put it into the hands of his receiver.
Well, Joe's going to stretch the ball vertically too. He's going to get the ball out of his hands quick. He holds on to a little longer amount there, but he's going to stretch the field quickly and vertically. And that's what he did right there. Ball is a little bit overthrown. It should have been a little more underthrown, actually, to the back shoulder. So the receiver could have come back to the ball and made a play on it with the two defenders on top of him. That's one of those experience things Ibieta is going to learn next year in college.
3rd and 17. Can Wagner get it? No, he'll get most of the lost yardage back, but he's almost back or just passes the original line of scrimmage. Scott. So,
see if you recognize this play, Ken. From the run back. See if this looks familiar from what we saw a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Does that look familiar? Where did you see that, Ken?
That looked very much like the fake kneel that Tulane ran.
That's called the hideout play.
Will Hall calls it knee.
Right.
Most fans know it is the fake knee.
There's 100 different ways you can run that, okay? Any way you look at it, it's a hideout play where you've got everybody going one direction and you have the running back taking the ball stuffed back up under his arm, delaying a second and going opposite the flow of the offense. Very similar to what Tulane ran the other night. Little trick play right there by the Cajuns.
Well, you know that Joe's going to have a few trick plays up his sleeve. Tonight's game is presented by Ye Olde College Inn and Rockin' Bowl. College Inn, a true New Orleans farm-to-table restaurant, opens Tuesday through Saturday for dinner, and it's the home of the New Orleans Prep Sports Hall of Fame. Ron Bricata's got those wonderful plaques in there, and he's always done a great job with the New Orleans High School Hall of Fame, and it's really something to see.
And what's my favorite thing I get when I'm there? The hamburger steak.
Thought you were going to say the country fried.
Well, I like that too. But I really like their hamburger steak. They do a great job with that hamburger steak.
And it's farm to table, which is really, really good, especially for those who like organic and want to do it the right way.
I'm going to go back to the play just a second ago on the hideout play. I think Stephen Wagner, the running back, should have delayed a tad bit more. It's hard to get that running back just to kind of wait there with the ball and not move. It goes against everything they're taught, right? If he would have just delayed 1,001 count more, everybody in the white jerseys would have been gone, and he would have gone out the backside.
Yeah, it kind of took the surprise out of the trick out of the trick play. Ibieta spins around. Look, he won't go down. They still have to drag him down, and the officials blow the play dead before it gets excessive. Brandon Williams first to get him, and it shows I think, elusiveness or just the fight that you have in Ibieta, and that was just some good defense not to let him escape that time by Newman.
That's two Division I players right there hooking horns. But watch it again. Watch Brandon Williams chasing him down. Look at his speed. Get up, stay after him. I'm not going down. They're hooking horns, and then they say, hey, see you at the next level. I love it.
Virginia commit
awesome.
in Brandon Williams for Newman, and the Tulane commit in Justin Ibieta for the Country Day Cajuns. Flag was thrown in the midst of all of that, and Eddie Allamore and his crew will sort this out.
Well, that's a huge loss of ground right there. If anything, field position would have been the name of what was taking place there with 6 seconds. Now, if the ball right there is something happens and Newman ends up with the ball at midfield, they can take one strike at that end zone with the time remaining. So it's a huge chunk of down that they've lost, or chunk of land that they've lost.
Won't even try to guess on this one. It could be so many different things, but for the officials to be talking and discussing this long, wondering if this has to do with any extracurricular activity. Let's see.
Holding during the play. Defense number 7. 10 yards from the end of the run. We replay 4th down.
That's the way it works from the end of the run, is the way a defensive holding penalty takes place, because there was no gain past the line of scrimmage. It was a loss, so it was tacked on from where the ball finally ended up. It really doesn't help the Cajuns much.
No.
Brings up 4th down, but it does get a little of that real estate back, a little of that land back, which will help you not give the ball up in 6 seconds to Newman that could take one shot down the field.
It also clears up the long conversation between the officials, which once they knew what they were going to do, they decided they could call in at halftime to Reginelli's Pizzeria and have something ready after the game.
Right, there you go.
Clock with 6 seconds to play in the half. Put that one down. Let's see what Ibieta wants to do. He wants to throw it long near the end zone. It's intercepted at the 8-yard line. Coming back and running out to the 25, but didn't get the great toss on that. And Wade Politz with the interception for Newman. And if that name is a little bit familiar, we'll tell you that his grandfather was a first cousin of J.C. Politz, who's the guy that made the Halloween night Billy Cannon run call for LSU back in the late 1950s. How's that for, if you're an LSU fan watching this one?
I
That
learn
goes way
something
back.
every week with you, Ken Berthelon. Every week I learn a little bit of a tidbit.
All right,
That's awesome.
With that, we're going to the halftime. Good half here, 14-13. Newman by a point after, and their fans love it.
Lamarck Lincoln is now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's state of the art. You're gonna love walking into the Lincoln store. 8 years here in New Orleans, you couldn't even buy one? LL, Lamarck Lincoln is back.
Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Since 1935, the All-State Sugar Bowl has stood tall as a New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Throughout the years, the game changed, the venue changed, the teams changed, but the tradition remains. New Year's Day in the Dome, the 2020 All-State Sugar Bowl. Tickets on sale now before kickoff party at the All-State Fan Jam in Champion Square. For everything Sugar Bowl, go to allstatesugarbowls.org today. The 2020 All-State Sugar Bowl.
Lamarck Lincoln is now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's state of the art. You're gonna love walking into the Lincoln store. 8 years here in New Orleans, you couldn't even buy one? LL, Lamarck Lincoln is back.
It is halftime, and it wasn't the shootout we expected, but it's been one whale of a game as Newman leads Country Day by a point after touchdown. And we've seen a lot from Arch Manning, the quarterback of Newman, great arch of the Manning family. We have seen a lot from Justin Ivietta, the great senior quarterback of Country Day. Both have put the ball into the hands of many receivers. They've thrown it all over the field. Their teams have marched up and down the field, but each one has only crossed the goal line, gotten into the other's end zone one time. So it's 14-13. It's week 4 of the high school football season across Louisiana. With a closer look, here is Crescent City Sports' Jude Young.
Let's take a look around Louisiana high school football as week 4 of the regular season is in full swing tonight. In the Crescent City Sports Class 5A Top 10, John Curtis Christian remains in the top spot after setting a school record with 72 points last Friday night against Landry Walker. Every team in the top 5 has a stern test this week. Tonight, number 2 Catholic is taking on 3-time defending Class 4A champ Carr in Baton Rouge. Number 4 Destrehan is facing St. James, and 5th-ranked West Monroe renews its I-20 rivalry with Evangel Christian. Tomorrow afternoon, 3rd-ranked Archbishop Rummel plays its first home game of the year against Ruston, while Curtis and St. Augustine open District 9 5A play tomorrow night. Moving on to Class 4A, where one of the best games of the night is happening in Lafayette this evening, with the number 2 and number 3 ranked teams in the class, Neville and St. Thomas More, facing off. 5th-ranked Lakeshore is in Moss Point, Mississippi this evening, while 6th-ranked Warren Easton's grueling non-conference schedule continues tonight at East Ascension. Unbeaten's Eunice and Breaux Bridge are also facing off. In Class 3A, St. James has earned the number 1 ranking thus far, but may face its toughest test to date as Destrehan makes the trip to Vacherie this evening. The Wildcats are the only team in the 3A rankings getting tested this evening, as De La Salle meets a defending state champion in a meet, and Union Parish goes up in class to face Washita Parish. On to Class 2A, and for the third straight week, the state's longest winning streak was snapped. This time, it was Lafayette Christian who fell to Acadiana in Week 3. The Knights are still ranked number 4 in the Class 2A rankings. Elsewhere in 2A tonight, top-ranked Notre Dame is at Turlings Catholic. Number 2 St. Charles Catholic is opening its rebuilt on-campus stadium this evening against Edie White, and 8th-ranked Kentwood welcomes Class 5A Live Oak. In Class 1A, Ascension Catholic remains atop the rankings for the second straight week and has a bye. Maybe the toughest test in the top 10 is for number 6 West St. John, which heads upriver to take on Plaquemine. The North Louisiana 1A districts begin league play this week, including 2nd-ranked Calvary Baptist, 5th-ranked Washita Christian, and number 7 Oak Grove. Remember to get all the latest scores from around the state by visiting the up-to-the-minute prep scoreboard at CrescentCitySports.com, presented all season by the All-State Sugar Bowl. For the Crescent City Sports Louisiana Prep Football Report, I'm Jude Young. Ken and Wade are back with more of our halftime from Yeoman Stadium right after this.
Welcome back. It's halftime here at Yeoman Stadium in this big shootout between Newman and Country Day, and they have been completing passes, but not for a lot of points on the board. Newman by a point after over Country Day at halftime. Ken Berthelot along with Wade Kaiser, our entire CST and Crescent City Sports crew. Here's a look at scores from around the state. Get the most complete and up-to-date Louisiana prep football scoreboard anywhere at CrescentCitySports.com, presented by the All-State Sugar Bowl. Let's jump right into it, Wade. And McDonough 35 and Carver. And that's a little bit of a surprise because Carver right up there at the top. And that was a final on Thursday, and I'd consider that an upset.
Well, it could be an upset. McDonough 35 gets better each week as the season moves along. By week 10, they're hitting on all cylinders. You know, the one that's jumping out at me is that Neville St. Thomas More score. Look at that. I think that's 2 and 3, if I'm not believing.
In the state.
Right, in the state. Right there. 21-3. How good is St. Thomas More?
And they're at home, and I saw them here against Holy Cross and Yeoman Stadium, and I'm going to tell you, they are strong. They have a great passing game, a run game that works when needed, and a defense that can stop anybody and make a play. And their defensive secondary is not afraid to just go after it. I'll tell you, that's a good team, and not sure if anybody can beat them. Let's take a look at Carr Catholic over there. And
two outstanding football teams. You know, that Catholic Baton Rouge team they're talking about might be the best team in Division I in the select division. And we all know here in the New Orleans area how good that Carr Cougar team is.
And you got to go to Baton Rouge to play them, so that's an advantage for Catholic and Evangel West Monroe. Look at that one.
Two of the better teams in the state year in, year out.
St. James leading Destrehan 14-7. Surprise?
Well, not really. St. James, one of the better teams in the state this year, and with the offensive explosive skill positions that they have, it's a huge skill position night in Destrehan.
And St. James is number one in Class 3A in the Crescent City sports rankings.
But you should see the skill that is on that field tonight between those two River Parishes teams.
Absolutely. Warren Easton and East Ascension. I know Warren Easton trying to bounce back after a great victory over De La Salle. They had the open week, and then they came back, and it was disappointing that they lost again to Carr. Played a great game, lost. They need to come back with a victory for Coach Jerry Phillips and his defensive coordinator, Noel Ellison. They're in a good dogfight right now at East Ascension.
Well, East Ascension is a solid football program. That football program has been on the upswing the past couple of years.
Let's take a look at the two games coming up tomorrow, and we'll start with Ruston Rummel. Rummel has hardly given up any points. 3 points in 3 games?
3 points. And Ruston has been scoring a lot of points. So that's going to be a dynamic offense.
What do they call that? The old saying, the invisible object goes against the unstoppable force. Which one's going to win?
I fail physics. But I do know that defense wins championships and offense puts tails in the seats and spends money. But tomorrow, that's going to be a great defense against a great offense.
And then one you'll see live streamed on CrescentCitySports.com with Ken Trahan and Roe Brown, John Curtis, and St. Augustine right here in Yeoman Stadium.
Should be a great crowd for that. It should be great weather. That's going to be a fantastic football game.
Catholic League opener for both teams.
Correct.
And this is going to be a tough Catholic League race this year because everybody is either real good or has the ability to pop up and upset you, surprise you.
Well, any given night in the Catholic League, I mean, having spent a lot of time in it, any given night, anybody can beat anybody. That's in any football game, of course, but the Catholic League definitely carves that out.
We've got one next week that's going to be a pretty big one, too, in Holy Cross and Jesuit. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. We're going to take a break right now. After looking at these scores, we'll be back to Yeoman Stadium. We are at halftime. Newman leading Country Day by an extra point.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
Since 1935, the All-State Sugar Bowl has stood tall as a New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Throughout the years, the game changed, the venue changed. The teams change, but the tradition remains. New Year's Day in the Dome, the 2020 All-State Sugar Bowl. Tickets on sale now before kickoff party at the All-State Fan Jam in Champion Square. For everything Sugar Bowl, go to allstatesugarbowl.org today. The 2020 All-State Sugar Bowl.
Tell me about it. The kids need braces, I need a root canal, and Dad's old dentures are broken. That means 3 dental appointments all across town.
Bobby Abear?
Mom, you need to call Louisiana Dental Center. They see kids and adults and have specialists at every location. They even have Friday and Saturday appointments.
That's great. I'll call him now. But who's going to do the dishes?
Yeah, I know, me and my big mouth.
For more than half a century, Gills Bar has offered services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com.
Your home for the best in coverage of pro, college, and prep sports in the New Orleans area is CrescentCitySports.com. Whether it's news, opinions, live video webcasts of high school sports, or Louisiana's best prep football scoreboard, you can get it all at Crecent City Sports. The name may be new, but it's the same great coverage you've gotten for years from our team of New Orleans natives. Click it now and like us on social media at CrescentCitySports.com.
Back at halftime, Ken Berthelot, Wade Kaiser, and the Angry Wave. We love the Angry Wave, as do most Tulane fans. When you're at Yeoman Stadium, you're going to see the Angry Wave in the stadium and as you walk in. At halftime, 14-13, and Newman's got that one extra point, and they've got the lead in what's been a fun game to watch.
Well, it's the game of two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, we said that going in. We were going to see great quarterback play tonight by two outstanding quarterbacks that have great futures moving forward. And Ibieta is as advertised, but so is Manning. Both of these guys do a great job. A little bit different offenses on the way they're trying to attack the defenses, but they're both having success here tonight. This could get down to that one missed PAT, could be the difference.
And remember, Ibieta is the senior committed to Tulane, and Manning is a freshman with the rest of this year and 3 more years to play here at Newman.
He's going to be fun to watch for the next 3 years. He's on the learning curve, and that's okay. All right, and Nelson Stewart, the head coach at Newman, will put him through the learning curve the right way, introduce the right things to him, and allow him to be able to grow in to the offense as he expands it the next 3 years.
Let's take a look at our first half highlights, and we'll talk a little bit more about Arch in just a little while. And it got started with Country Day's Justin Ibieta. First drive of the game, a 13-yard strike to Williams, and it was 7-0. But Newman came right back on an 8-yarder to Joe Pleasant, and that tied it up at 7. Country Day with the Conwell. And then after that, there's that tip drill. Take another look at this one before it was finally caught for the score by
Manning.
Philibert.
Right, Manning trying to get the ball out there to Sutherland. Instead of knocking the ball down, the defender tips the ball up right into Pike Filbert's hands, and there's a great look at what's going on stat-wise.
1-point game.
Right.
You can see how even that is shown or displayed rather in the statistics.
Look at the third down conversion rate tells you also how tight it is. Total yards 204 to 200 right there. Passing yardage right in the same area. And we got to remember both of these teams, even though Newman can rush the ball a little bit better, those rushing yards by Country Day are all from Justin Ibieta.
But with that, we'll take a break. The teams are back on the field taking their warm-ups. We'll be set for the second half kick right after this from Yeoman Stadium. High school football from Crescent City Sports on Cox Sports Television is brought to you by the All-State Sugar Bowl, sponsor of all LHSAA championship events, and by the all-new Lamarck Lincoln, now open in Kenner. All set for the start of the third quarter. Next Friday night on CST and Crescent City Sports, it's the 100th meeting of one of the great high school rivalries in America when Jesuit and Holy Cross face off at Tad Gormley Stadium. Our coverage begins at 7 p.m. live right here on CST or at CrescentCitySports.com.
Looking forward to that. Been involved in many of those as a player and as a coach, and it's always fun. And you'll hear me say it a few times that week. It's an event, and then there's a football game breaking out. Okay, because I'm telling you.
Well, for the 100th meeting, right. They've got floats, Mardi Gras floats, parades through City Park, extra tailgating.
There'll probably be a flyover by the B-1, B-24, something or other bombers. On that. It's an event now, I'm telling you, and then a football game breaks out. But the guys that are playing the football game, they're excited.
That guy right there is excited. He'd like to have the ball back, but they won the toss and chose to receive, so they've got to kick it to Newman, who leads by 1. Lopez to kick. Kerrigan is back. Deep. And it's taken out of his hands by Kerner. And Kerner gets a return out to the 35. So Newman's got some good field position to start and see if they can add to their lead. Let's see what happens from there. Good numbers on Arch Manning in the first half.
13-17, 152, 2 touchdowns. Not a bad night. He's got a whole half in front of him. But I like what Country Day is doing defensively. We said one of the keys for Country Day defensively was to be able to give Manning different looks to try to confuse him. And there we go. Look at this right now. Now they're pressing defenders at the top of your screen. They're giving different looks. That's confusing Manning a little bit.
But Manning loves that slant in and easily finds Jarmon Sutherland for the first down and a big gain to the 49-yard line. 15-yard gain.
The problem with Country Day right there, you can see it on the slant from the end zone, is they're lining up out there with their second corners on top flight receivers from Newman. So those top flight receivers are getting off that press coverage really fast.
And they're going fast this time to Bo Adams, the senior wide receiver, and short side of the field, goes out of bounds, pushed out by Andrew Lopez, the kicker. And again, watch those corners because Lopez is a kicker and starting at cornerback. And again,
Newman is trying to push the envelope a little bit because of those two-way players that Country Day has. Their legs are a little bit tired, so they're going just a little bit
9 of 11
faster.
starters on defense are playing two ways for Country Day. 9 of 11. Usually it would be a little bit less than that, but because of some injuries, Joe Pleasant and the Greenies trying to take advantage of that, and Pleasant right up the middle for a bunch.
Love the scheme Newman just had right there for this run by Pleasant. A little trap scheme. Watch across your screen. Bang, right there. The trap on Stephen Wagner, the down defensive lineman by 87, the freshman Will Randall. Had a nice block right there to be able to spring Pleasant for a few yards. Bring up a third down and manageable.
Came up 2 yards short, and Manning looked like he was going to go fast and then slowed it down. Fake to Pleasant, and it was a good one. Bo Adams with the catch in the first down inside the 35-yard line. Andrew Lopez again on a tackle, wearing out that kicking leg of his, too.
Well, that's going to take away if this thing comes down to a field goal for Country Day, knowing that Lopez playing both ways, probably about 100 plays tonight, plus all of his kicks.
Another good play action. He'll go against man coverage down the field, and flags all over the place as Sutherland got all mixed up with Tyler Williams, who plays both ways as a wide receiver and a safety.
Well, that's one of the change-ups Country Day has been doing since midway through the second quarter, putting Tyler Williams out there on Sutherland. And let's see if we can. Oh, here's our call.
Picked it off, I believe.
Pass interference. Offense, number 1. 15-yard penalty. We play first down.
It was great coverage out there by Williams. I didn't want to speak too soon that it could have possibly been offensive, but you saw right there towards the end of the video, you could see how Sutherland used his hands to gain the advantage on the defender by shoving him on his hip right there and getting some separation. That was great coverage by Tyler Williams, which is one of the new things that we've seen since, like I said, the middle of the second quarter that Country Day is doing, changing up their looks and coverages for Manning.
Manning from the 48-yard line. Long way to go. You'll see if Pleasant can get most of it. Pleasant got all the penalty yardage back and a little bit more to boot. And there comes a late flag being tossed into the pile. Andrew Lopez pushed him out of bounds.
Well, they caught Country Day in a blitz right there. They brought 6 people up front. Perfect call. Manning dumps the ball right there on the screen to pick up that penalty yardage back. But look for a dead ball
after the
foul.
play. Personal foul, late hit. Number 55 on the offense. 15-yard penalty, play second down.
Well, that's shooting yourself in the foot right there. You just run a great screen play, pick them up in a blitz. You got to pick up your penalty yardage from previous with the offensive interference, and then you're going to do something kind of not smart by getting a cheap dead ball foul, which is going to bring it right back from where you started the play almost before, and all that real estate is gone.
Frustrated Greeny fans
agreeing
with you.
No, that's going to be a frustrated Nelson Stewart. I'm frustrated. You just don't do that.
Spoken like a coach.
Can you hear that in my voice?
I can hear it. That's what I said.
It just sets me off. It's just things like that set me off.
Look, yardage and real estate come at a price, and you've got to work for it. And when you get it, you just don't want to give it up by penalty, by something like that.
Right. You're coming out at halftime, you just talk about things like this. You just spoke to your team about like that. You're in a one-point game and you have that? No.
They'll play second down all over again, and Manning overshoots Jarmone Sutherland, incomplete.
Tell you what was great right there. C.D. St. Hilaire, little number 2, the linebacker from Country Day, is being pulled. He's being pulled by the receiver, Will Randall, the big freshman tight end, down the field. An official didn't see it. It should have been called holding right there, even though the ball was thrown away from him, to another receiver. But you should have seen St. Hilaire was getting towed by the jersey. I don't know if we can get a look at that again, but that's great humor.
Well, third and forever. Third and real long here, but 19. Manning will just roll out of the pocket. Has a man if he can hit him, and he does. And Jarmone Sutherland, who makes a nice move, and it's going to be close down there. Is he close to the sticks?
Well, he runs the stick routes right there. It could have been a little bit farther. Great route, great run. What's the route right here?
I don't know, but Newman is going to convert. They get the first down despite 30 yards and penalties on this drive.
Right. Now look, right here, great move, missed tackle by Country Day. He fumbles the ball at the end, but it's caused by the ground. That ball was down. The only thing that I'm objecting to right there is the route should have been ran at the sticks. He was a little shallow of that. He had to make a move to pick up the first down.
Well, he made up for all the penalty yardage that was caused by Newman's offense, and Joe Pleasant was really hit hard by Dylan Simmons that time. He felt that one. Dylan Simmons, the junior.
Right. Dylan Simmons, one of the guys we had on our keys and players to watch tonight. We haven't really heard much from him, but look at this hit. Whack right there. I would have liked to seen him wrap up with his arms rather than just throwing his shoulder out there. But that's a great hit, great lick. Then he gets up and tells everybody that it's incomplete. I don't want to see that either, but that's the way things are done today. You see it at all levels.
2nd and 10, and Manning hands it off. Pleasant just runs forward into the arms of Randolph French, brings him down, but Pleasant has just had success running between the tackles tonight.
Right. Well, that's the strength of that Newman offensive line. Senior laden, Gamilla, Oliphant, Andrews, Oliver, Hale, Martin. Those guys are physical up front. They've got great size, and they really outweigh the Country Day defensive line, who all of those guys play both ways again.
Manning always dangerous at any place on the field, especially in the red zone, but a mess up on the handoff, and Manning saves it by jumping on the loose football.
That's a freshman mistake right there. He didn't have the ball gripped with both hands very well coming off the fake. You'll see it right here. It's kind of bobbled right there coming off the hips. He's got to take that ball can and rip it right back into his midsection with both of his elbows. The way you teach that is you drive your elbows straight back to your hips as hard and as violently as you can. That's going to bring the ball back to your midsection, and you're securing the ball.
Well, that'll bring out the field goal unit on 4th down and 7. So this will be a 35-yard field goal by Will Hardy. He's 1 for 1. He's made his only field goal attempt. He has the range. It's up. It is good. Just sneaks over that crossbar.
You know what's the greatest thing about that? And I'll tell you when we get done with our break.
We'll take a break after a 35-yard field goal. It's the lead by Newman, 17-13.
Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
For more than half a century, Gills Bar has offered services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com.
A happy bunch of greenies. They up 17-13, and Wade, you were telling us why that was important.
Let me tell you why that's exciting, because you see number 34 down there?
Yeah.
That's the greatest thing about double-A and single-A football. You got guys that play linebacker kick 35-yard field goals. That's awesome. You know, you don't recruit a kicker. You don't go hire a kicker. You put the ball down there and you find somebody on your team that can kick it. And if it's a lineman, a linebacker, he wins the job. He's your kicker. And that's the greatest thing, and that's why Will Hardy is awesome.
Arch's grandfather, Archie, said once at True Mississippi, coach just pulled out a square toe shoe and said, 10.5, who fits it? Good, Arch, you're our kicker. And he was for a little while, I believe. And this ball will roll into the end zone and come out to the 20. The scoring drive, 3 minutes and 38 seconds, 10 plays, 48 yards, and ended in that 35-yard field goal by Will Hardy, the kicker.
The linebacker.
The linebacker, kicker. Yes. Good numbers.
Great numbers. We knew this coming in tonight. We're going to see a great contest with two outstanding quarterbacks. I got 15 to 22, 135 yards, 1 TD, and he threw that interception just before the half right there. Okay?
And that interception don't hurt you. That's on that Hail Mary try, last play of the first half. And
it just hurts in your stats. Hey, look, we got 3-on-1 up at the top.
And Ibieta tries to take advantage of it, and he'll use Daniel Cornwell. Will Hardy.
Can't do that. You got to get somebody out there. You got to get a safety out there. You got to walk him down and invert him. Invert him means take him out of the top of your coverage and moving him down to the line of scrimmage. So if you ever hear the word safeties invert, that's what they're talking about. They need to either invert or walk a linebacker. I mean, Country Day's not going to run the ball. You could play with 5 in the box and walk somebody out. Again, they've got 3-on-1 out here. Oh, no, there we go. Now they walk a second guy out.
That'll even out the coverage. And Ibieta, he just goes up the middle for a few, hoping for the first, but he'll be short. And that'll bring up 3rd down and a little less than 2, about 1.5.
Country Day's offense tonight for the running game is Ibieta.
Yeah.
I mean, they can play with 5 in the box, and they can get out there and put a little bit more coverage with a linebacker underneath some of those twin receivers or trips receiver routes, combinations.
Well, his running back, Stephen Wagner, on the side of him, averages 4.5 yards a carry, but he just has not been able to move against that against the Newman defense tonight. Ibieta on a keeper, moves the chains. First down, Country Day. He'll do it himself.
Quarterback draw right there. He picked his way through there, found himself a little bit of room to pick up the first down. But getting back to the coverage again, the key to Country Day is getting the ball out quick into their receivers' hands. What does Newman have to do to stop that? They've got to get out there and cover those guys. They've got to be able to make tackles for no yak yards after the catch. But by leaving receivers open, Ibieta can get the ball into those hands real quick and keep this ball game close.
He waves Conwell down the field and loses the football, knocked out of his hand, and Country Day jumps on it.
Trying to make something happen. Ibieta's trying to get his receiver to work open in a scramble drill right there, trying to do a little bit extra, trying to put a little bit more effort into it. It's going to get knocked out of his hands, or it's going to flip out of his hands. Oh, look at that. It gets punched right out of his hands right there by Sean Sutherland right there. I think he's the brother of the receiver Sutherland, and the ball goes out right there, and Ibieta pulls it back in, and he's lucky.
Yeah, he had waved Conwell down the field. We're ticking down to the hydration break here in the third quarter, so we'll probably take one here with them at the hydration break.
The Ronnie Lamar used car superstore. When you walk in it, you're going to say, wow. For your lifestyle and budget in mind. It's not Wall Street money. It's Mealy Street money from Arabi, Louisiana, where I grew up as a kid. Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignment, struts, servicing your transmission, and we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. You're going to love the experience.
Toothache.
Gingivitis.
Plaque.
Cavity.
Tartar.
Tooth decay?
Gum disease.
Abscess tooth.
What's that?
A feeling.
Not a frown.
A bridge?
You mean I need a root canal?
Come on, man.
The only thing worse than hearing those words is hearing that your dentist can't see you right away. Call Louisiana Dental Center. We'll see you today.
Well, after the hydration back, young fans enjoying this one. They're already hydrated. They're just having a good time. And hey, their Newman Greenies are up by 4 over Country Day, who's looking at second down, 15. Ibieta at quarterback. Pulls a snap that was a little bit to the right. Back in his hands and go out of the backfield to Stephen Wagner. Wagner got it close to a first down again. Haven't used Wagner enough out of the backfield, but you said earlier you like that play. But
that's all by
flag
Ibieta.
down. Flag down.
We got a flag, but that's all Ibieta, Ken. Watch how he gets away. We'll see it on the replay. He gets away. He uses a patented spin-out move, which they train. Let's listen to our call.
Eddie Allamore, the referee.
No foul for blindside block. Player's hands were extended.
I'll talk about that in a second. But that was all Ibieta, getting away from the rush, spinning out of there. He's coached to do that, and he finds the receiver open on the run and puts it right on the money. This cat can play, Ken. He can absolutely play.
What's more impressive is he's only got 3 solid years of football behind him. All through middle school, he played almost no football. He loved baseball. That was his sport. Spring, summer, baseball all the time. Gets in trouble, goes down under the big rush. Will Hardy, the kicker, also there first for Newman.
That was a no-hitter by the Country Day offensive line. All right. That was an offer right there. Left guard missed Will Hardy. Will Hardy comes through there on the blitz. And that's one of the first sacks tonight Ibieta has suffered. Look at Will Hardy right there. Everybody's there. It's camp out at Ibieta time. Nobody in a blue jersey touched anybody in a white jersey right there. So I think this is one of our first punts of the night, isn't it?
Well, here's your Lopez. He's a rugby-style punter, and sometimes they'll put him in for just that possibility. Philibert has trouble with it, drops it, falls on it, and saves it. Both Ibieta and Lopez both kick for Country Day, both punt for Country Day.
Right, and that was the rugby style. He could have been a fake right there.
Well, he has the green light if he thinks he can get it to go. But if he doesn't, and there's some people yelling at him usually on the sideline whether to do it or not, he'll just punt away.
Correct. And he was approaching the line of scrimmage. He came really close to the possibility of overrunning the line of scrimmage to kicking that ball, and then that would have been a penalty right there.
Good field position for Newman. And Arch Manning at quarterback. And again, he loves that slant in and is pretty successful with it, hitting Jarmon Sutherland. Sutherland, a great story in that he's very close to breaking a lot of records.
Good look right here. Manning gets rid of it, beats the blitz. About Sutherland is a great story, Ken. You're absolutely
right. Well, Nelson
right.
Stewart said, hey, man, don't even go look it up. I don't want to know if I'm close to the records or not. This one out to Philibert. Gets a late hit. That's going to cost Country Day a few more, probably 15 more after Philibert had gotten good yardage on the completion of Dylan Simmons. There, let's see what Eddie Elmore announces.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 7. 15-yard penalty, he played first down.
That's Dylan Simmons. See, he's out of bounds and he's slowing down.
Well, he backs off of him, doesn't hit him too hard, but he's well into the white. He just needs to know when to pull up. That's just a very, very, I don't want to say a cheap hit, but something that's unnecessary.
4 interceptions last year. A leader on the defense, tries to make things happen and was probably trying to make something happen there, but you've got to know when to pull off. And Newman is at the 30-yard line of Country Day. Got some numbers at the top of your screen. Manning sees it. He's going in that direction. The coverage comes up quickly, and it's almost picked off.
I think that was Jack Schwing out there coming from his corner position. Again, we saw this from Newman. Going empty with the running back, moving Schwing out of the way, leaving the one-on-one with Sutherland and Tyler Williams, and they're throwing the ball up right there.
Goes right through Schwing's hands. And remember, Schwing is one of those, he's a freshman, and he's starting because the normal starting cornerbacks are both injured. Eddie Lombard and Robert Bridgewater.
Schwing makes a great play on the ball right there.
Second down, 10. And now a hit right as the ball got to Philibert, and he drops it. But a lot of pressure on both Jack Schwing and Andrew Lopez, the kicker, in their cornerback roles tonight, starting for the 2 injured guys. And look, at the right times, Arch Manning has picked on those guys. He's gone after him. He knows that that's a good shot. Schwing had that played well, but that ball got through his hands. He could have intercepted that. He's just not used to playing that position a lot as a freshman.
Well, again, you're watching Country Day giving them different looks, and one of the big looks is tying up Tyler Williams on Sutherland.
Well, the slant in was intended for Bo Adams, covered by Lopez. There were a lot of blue jerseys in the area, but did Lopez impede the receiver?
Pass interference, defense number 22. 15-yard penalty results in the first down.
Well, Lopez is doing everything he can do with the mismatch. You know, there's a huge mismatch with Bo Adams and Sutherland on the backup corners for Country Day, and one of the things Bo Adams is doing is using his size to create separation from Lopez. So Lopez is just trying to hold on for dear life to make something happen against a bigger, stronger Bo Adams.
Look, Bo Adams is also the backup quarterback. He's a senior, so he thinks like a quarterback when he's at the receiver spot. Boy, Manning is good with the fake. He did hand off to Philibert, who went straight ahead for a few, but you can tell Manning's, I think he's been coached well.
Well, I do think his family lets him grow into his shoes, and they're absolutely right. But as I said at the top of the show earlier, I mean, Nelson Stewart saw it right away in the spring. We're better with him on the field.
Well, he had to beat Bo Adams out for the position.
Well, the thing that's nice is Bo Adams is such a great athlete, Ken. They can move him anywhere on that offensive skill set. He could probably play running back. He could play quarterback. He can play wide receiver. We've already seen tonight what he's doing as a wide receiver out there with the mismatch. They're just a better offense with Manning at quarterback.
Philibert brought down by Fowler, and now Manning's got him at the 6-yard line. Pleasant My bad. Pleasant with the handoff. Pleasant up the middle. Oh, they hit him. They hold him out of that end zone. That's not easy when you've got that big 5'9", 200-pound, all-muscular frame coming at you with a full head of steam.
Well, he runs right through Christian Daly's arms on the inside zone. Christian Daly comes down the line off of the down block, which is what he's supposed to do, but he just doesn't wrap up and make a solid hit. Runs right through Christian Daly's arms, and you can show and see how strong Joseph Pleasant is.
And what options Manning has right here, as well as he can move, as well as he can throw, or he could just put it right there in Pleasant's stomach and let him go, and he does. Pleasant's into the end zone, touchdown.
What you're seeing now is attrition. You're seeing Newman now being a lot more physical, all right, and wearing out a tired defense of two-way players at Country Day. They're just pounding them up front and using their mismatches at wide receiver on those smaller corners to be able to create running lanes and quick passing and taking chunks of yardage.
One thing Joe Chango would like to do is increase the players on his roster. He was in the high 20s last year. He only has 42 this year. 9 of his starting players, his starting defensive players, have to play both ways, especially with injuries. Point after is good. Another look at this touchdown as we go to break.
Inside zone right there to Pleasant. Look at him barrel his way in for another score.
2-1, roll master. You got
Newman, an 8-play, 68-yard drive, took 2 minutes and 14 seconds, and it culminated with a 1-yard touchdown run by Pleasant. And Joe Pleasant has been anything but pleasant to the Country Day defense.
Well, he's wearing
him down. Say it one time.
Right. I knew you had to. He's wearing him down, but it's that offensive line that's just pounding and pounding on those Country Day defensive linemen who also turn around and take every snap as offensive linemen on the even. Like I said, those guys in blue, before the night's out, the majority of them are going to play over 100 snaps.
Offside on the kick.
And that wears you out, Ken. I'm telling you, when you just keep pounded like that, it's going to take an effect on your legs and everything else.
Team, encroachment, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Well, the good news is that Tyler Williams can do something with this football on the return. He's the deep man, and as long as you have Justin Ibieta back there, amazing things can happen. In the Episcopal game last week, it looked like Country Day was just done. They trailed 35-19 at the hydration break in the third quarter, then scored 29 unanswered points.
Right. Ibieta was 19 of 28 for 254 yards and 6 TDs on the night. That's a career for some high school quarterbacks.
And look, that defense with those players who have to go two ways, Episcopal had 312 yards rushing up to that point, the midway point of the third quarter. 32 yards after that rushing, 19 yards passing. So that defense, as tired as they were, came alive last week as Justin Ibieta worked his magic.
And if I'm not imagining this, or if I do remember correctly from last year, Ken, I believe Country Day came back from 21 down in a game from Newman last year. Came back from 3 games where they were behind in the fourth quarter. So they've got the recipe, all right? They know how to do it. Joe Chango knows how to do it. Ibieta knows how to do it. So it's going to make for an interesting fourth quarter, end of the third, going into the fourth quarter for Country Day.
One thing for Country Day, if they could get on the board before this third quarter comes to an end, get a little closer, that'll give them that extra momentum and that boost that they need.
They're going to need splash plays to do it. I'd love to, they can't get the running game going, but they can actually imitate the running game with the passing game with those wide receiver swing routes and wide receiver check downs. You can actually get an outside running game going off of that. Here we go. Newman outnumbered down here. There we go. They just moved somebody.
By the way, Dylan Guillen, the starting safety for Newman, as they sort out this and mark it off. Eddie Alamo. Dylan Guillen.
We play first down.
Sorry, Eddie. Dylan Guillen out of the game with a shoulder injury. He came out of the halftime locker room and is replaced down back there with both Penn McKay and Jackson Kerner. So Ibieta steps up, directing a little traffic, and just puts his head down and pushes forward with a good hit on a defender. And that was Will Hardy, and that's enough to move the chains with that extra effort on the hit and get the first down for Country Day.
He better learn to go down. He can't take many more of those type of hits.
Well, especially when he gets to the next level. You have to learn that now because the hits come a little harder.
Well, he's holding the ball too long. Coach Chango needs to get back to that quick game, okay? Because now your quarterback's starting to take a licking, and he might not keep ticking. So you got to get that ball out of your hands quicker because they're getting pressure on him.
Flag thrown as he unloads this one down the field, and it's incomplete, thrown into a crowd of white and blue jerseys intended for for Dylan Simmons.
Hold on. Offense number 54. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
And when you're trying to catch up, you can't afford those kind of mistakes.
Number 54, Scott Isaac, is one of those offensive, defensive linemen playing both ways. So now he's tired. He's just grabbing jerseys, and those guys in white are just teeing off, getting off the ball quick.
Huffing and puffing, you can see it.
Hands on their hips.
Hands on the hips,
right.
you
They're
can
tired.
see them breathing hard.
Yeah. You don't have time back there to be able to set your feet and look down the field. They've got to get the ball out of Ibieta's hands quicker. Catch, throw, get back to the read option stuff, the RPO stuff, the 90 game or the quick game. But it's first down in a decade. So what do you do here? What do you call? You try to get half of it back.
Half of it.
They've got the numbers up top again.
You've got 3 downs to do it, so you don't have to get it all at one time. And just take little bitty pieces of it. Boy, pressure was coming, and he unloads to Conwell, and Conwell got some of it back. So
that's where
it'll be
they've had
second
success.
down and 14, which is not bad, and Will Hardy makes the stop.
That's where they've had success tonight on that quick game right there. The slants, the hitches, the outs, catch the ball, RPO, fake the run, read the defender, throw the ball.
So now you've got that second down, 14. And we were talking about Ibieta earlier as loving baseball for most of his middle school and really didn't get interested in football till he came here. Joe Chango is here and got him interested in football as he scrambles right now. Joe said he saw how hard he could throw, and it's going to be close to a first down, just short of a first down by 2 yards is where they'll mark him out of bounds. Third down 2.
He has to scramble out of there again. They brought a corner blitz. Newman brings a corner blitz at the last second, forces Ibieta to just scoot out of there. His receivers didn't help him. Immediately when he's scrambling, you go into what is called scramble mode, scramble drill. You've got to practice that. You should have one receiver breaking long, one receiver coming back, one receiver looking for an opening to sit down in. So now you give levels for the quarterback to throw.
Ooh, Ibieta breaks a tackle that would have denied him the first down, and with extra effort gets the first down and moves the chains. Now, what you were just talking about, Wade, we're talking about a young man who only has been playing football at this level for 3 years because he didn't play much as a freshman. And again, when Joe Chango's here, he sees him as a baseball player, sees he can throw hard, walks up to him, says, why haven't you tried out for football? Why haven't you played football? And he tells Chango a great philosophical answer. I don't know. Didn't you get that? Well, you got that at Jesuit from Corey Dublin, who now plays at Tulane. I don't know why I'm not on the team. Ooh, right through the fingertips.
That's one of the first misses I've seen tonight out of Ibieta. That was a poorly thrown ball.
Yeah, that was intended for C.D. St. Hilaire. Colby Decker, St. Hilaire.
Even the interception that he threw just before the half was not a poorly thrown ball. It was a great play by the defender. Right there, that was a poorly thrown pass. That's one of the first ones I've seen tonight like that out of Ibieta.
So Chango takes him under his wing and says, hey, just throw a football. And he said Ibieta told him one day, says, you know I can throw the baseball as hard as anybody, but football, I've never done this. This is a challenge. I want to try it. And the rest is history. But, oh, again, right off the fingertips, so close.
A little high.
That's to Tyler Williams.
Great route by Tyler Williams, sitting down in that two-deep secondary of Newman. He did a nice job. Ball's just a little high. But if you notice, Country Day's going back to the catch-throw. Quick game right there. Just a tad high. He catches that. He could have split both of those secondaries. He might have been off to the races and in the end zone.
So he's become a student of the game, and what Chango will tell you is he has a great football IQ with the potential to get so much better as he learns, because he didn't have all that middle school coaching and teaching. He was playing baseball all those years. It's going to be interesting to see how he continues to develop here and through college. Threw it too high. This one's picked off. Coming back with lots of room to do it. Sutherland with the INT.
Sutherland with a great INT on a poorly thrown ball by Ibieta. Ibieta just floated that out there to the post route again. Had he put a little mustard on that thing and thrown it hard, he would have gotten it in there, but he tried to loft it a little high, drop it into the breadbasket, overthrows, and there's Sutherland on the pick. Great pick right there on the turnover. Take a look at the ball. Watch the ball coming out of his hands. A little touch, a little high.
A little too high.
Right there. That's three poor passes.
And
so
Sutherland's
far
back there because, again, Dylan Guillen hurt that shoulder, is out of the game. So they put him back there at a safety spot to help out, replacing the injured Guillen. And it paid off with his speed and athletic ability. Sutherland makes the INT. Arch Manning and company from their 35 of Country Day. They'll keep it on the ground. And Pleasant will take it to the end of the quarter as the clock in the third quarter ticks down. The coach and his quarterback talking about things on the halftime as Sutherland enjoys the interception and some big catches on the day. Back with the fourth quarter from Yeoman Stadium after this.
42 years in a row. Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Your home for the best in coverage of pro, college, and prep sports in the New Orleans area is CrescentCitySports.com. Whether it's news, opinions, live video webcasts of high school sports, or Louisiana's best prep football scoreboard, you can get it all at Crescent City Sports. The name may be new, but it's the same great coverage you've gotten for years from our team of New Orleans natives. Click it now and like us on social media at CrescentCitySports.com.
Fourth quarter here at Yeoman Stadium. Wade Kaiser, Ken Berthelot, our entire Crescent City Sports crew, along with our CST crew. Boy, we're seeing a little coaching going on between Joe Chango and Justin Ibieta.
Let me tell you what he's telling him right now. He's saying you're trying to force the ball, don't force it.
Yep. Joe Pleasant on the run.
He's basically saying, you be you. Let's just stop being the guy that makes everything happen, let everything develop, do what we taught you. That's exactly what Joe Chango was telling him in that conversation right there.
And a good conversation it was. Joe Chango knows how to develop him. He's done a fine job here at Country Day. If you're joining us late, this is Arch Manning. You recognize the name, whether he's throwing long or just tossing it right out of the backfield like he did right there to Will Randall, his big tight end. He's usually making things happen. First down, Newman.
They brought Will Randall from across the formation on a bootleg action. They fake the inside zone. They bring Will Randall across the formation, slip him out. He's mismatched on the linebacker, couldn't get it out, and there's a nice play for Will
Only
Randall.
his fourth catch of the year, and they'll hand it off again to Joseph Pleasant, the junior. And he's brought down by Scott Isaacs.
Will Randall's an up-and-coming football player. I'm telling you, this is the second time I've seen him this year, and he's a fine-looking freshman that runs real well. He's 6'2", 210 pounds, and he's got a great set of hands on him.
If you're joining us late, that is Arch Manning. Archie, the grandpa, Cooper, the dad, Peyton and Eli, the uncles. Let's say it right, Cooper. Cooper, let's say it the way the Manning family does. Cooper, the dad.
Okay.
And Arch just enjoying being a freshman at 15 years old. Look at this, hand off to Pleasant. He just bowls his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Joe Pleasant again.
Again, that's that Newman offensive line just extending its will and putting its will on that tired defensive line.
His third touchdown.
Here's a good look at it. He gets it. Got a lot of movement up front from the guys in white, just knocking those guys in blue off the ball. They're tired. Those guys, have been going both ways all night. And great hole right there. Pleasant just walks right into the end zone.
A 16-yard run by Joe Pleasant for his third rushing touchdown of this game as Newman has opened it up to start the fourth quarter. And with the extra point, Newman leads 31-13 over Country Day.
Tell me about it. The kids need braces, I need a root canal, and Dad's old dentures are broken. That means 3 dental appointments all across town.
Bobby Abear?
Mom, you need to call Louisiana Dental Center. They see kids and adults and have specialists at every location. They even have Friday and Saturday appointments.
That's great. I'll call him now. But who's going to do the dishes?
Yeah, I know, me and my big mouth.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
A 5-play, 35-yard drive took 1 minute and 59 seconds, and Joe Pleasant took it in through traffic, fighting his way for 16 yards and the score. So now Country Day has their work cut out for him. Wade Kaiser and Newman in the driver's seat. And look, we've seen some really good Justin Ibieta and Arch Manning at quarterback. But I think the key is what you just talked about when we saw Joe Chango coaching Ibieta on the sideline. Let's see if he responds.
Well, and they've done it before, Ken. I mean,
yeah.
They've got the formula. They've got the recipe. He's just got to be Justin Ibieta. He can't try to keep forcing things. If that happens, it's going to be a recipe for disaster.
Well, to a man in this family, the Manning family, they reminded us over the summer just to let Arch be a 9th grader.
So we're kind of excited to be back going places on Friday night and see him play. But we're just we want him to just be a 9th grader and enjoy the game. And
yeah, I'm going to let him be an 8th grader going into his freshman year and kind of just let him do that. And I'm not. I think he needs to live and breathe a little bit and not have too much pressure, too much expectations on him.
incomplete pass as you watch Peyton and Archie talk about Arch. And I love Peyton because it's like, hey, we hear you. We know you're coaching him anyway, but keep him away from the media. I agree with that. I think everybody agrees with that. That's something special. Archie told a story at Manning Passing Academy to a few of us as we were standing around talking. He said, Cooper said, go see your grandpa, get a little advice on starting as a freshman. And he goes to Archie, and Archie starts telling him, man, get in that huddle, look people in the eye, have confidence, call the play. It's a good right off the hands of Tyler Williams, who was hit hard by Wade Pullitz. And going back to the thing, and he's saying, you got to have confidence, man. They have to believe in you. And at the end of the Archie diatribe to give him a little advice, he looks at Archie and he says, Pops, we don't huddle. And Archie said, oh, well, in that case, just go out there and have a good time. Be a leader, man. Go out there and do your best.
Well, you know, Archie was giving him great advice. You know, the biggest thing he was trying to get him to understand is, in the role of being the starting quarterback, whether you like it or not, you're a leader. And you've got to be able to do the things you have to do to be able to show your leadership. Big blitz right there by Newman to get a sack on Ibieta.
And that's Wade Pullitz was in on it with a couple of other people.
Well, and he's going to get such great advice, but I'm sure his dad, his uncles, and his grandfather are going to tell you the guy that gives you the number one bit of advice is Nelson Stewart, because he's the guy that's your offensive coordinator and head coach. Just remember that moving forward.
Brandon Williams was the initiator of that sack on Justin Ibieta, which forces a country day punt from a yard deep in their own end zone as we are in the fourth quarter, and they need a break to get the ball back. A little bit of a fake punt, but Ibieta will just run through everybody, avoid the block, and still get the punt away. Wow, what an athletic play by Justin Ibieta. And, boy, he does a nice job of flipping the field on what could have been a disaster.
Could have been a disaster. The thing is, how athletic is that? You know.
Well, another thing, too, with Arch Manning, when he plays at Lupin Field, hey, guess what? He's got to look at his own name in the end zone.
But you know what? And I agree. He's got to look at it. That's looking there at Lupin Field right there over at the Newman campus. And I get it. I understand it. But you know what? He gets it.
Yeah.
He gets it. He's believe it or not, even though he's a freshman, he's kind of ahead of his years.
And they keep it on the ground with Joe Pleasant. Now, notice all those other Mannings ended up wearing 18. They didn't all start with 18, but they ended up wearing 18. But 18 has been retired at Newman. So Arch had to come up with a different number, and he just chose 16. Now, nobody's talking about it. Nobody's ever said anything about it, but number 16 is the jersey number Peyton wore at Tennessee. Don't know if that is just special.
I'll tell you what, Ken Berthelot, you amaze me, buddy. Where do you come up? I mean, I'm sure he did, and I'm sure I watched him 1,000 times, but I didn't remember that.
Well, I got a little help. I got a little help from Cooper for that.
You have the memory. I tell you what, it's awesome. I'm losing my mind, and your memory is just getting sharper and sharper and sharper.
It's the blueberries.
It's the blueberries. The antioxidants.
The blueberries and the walnuts.
Right, the antioxidants. There you go.
Well, Pleasant just continuing to rack up yards for the Newman offense. And right now, Newman wants to do nothing more than run clock. They've got this one well in hand, leading 31-13.
Again, that's that offensive line just pounding those tired defensive linemen and oversized, or undersized, should I say, defensive linemen from Country Day.
And Arch just handing it off. The problem is it's hard to bring down Joe Pleasant. And I'll tell you what, almost a face mask by Scott Isaacs there. Had his hand on it, but didn't pull it or grab it.
Counter Trey, pulled a backside guard, backside tackle. That's the first time we've seen that play tonight out of the Newman Greenies. They're going to block gap down with the front side tackle, the front side guard, block back through the A-gap with the center, and I love it. They pull the backside guard, backside tackle, kick and seal, and lead Joe Pleasant up through that huge hole.
Preseason in a scrimmage with Archbishop Hannon. This is, I think, when Newman realized they had something extra special in Arch Manning. He's just handing off right now. You're not going to see him throw very much anymore as Pleasant's just trying to run clock. They do get the first down right there. But his first throw in the scrimmage is a 66-yard dart to Sutherland, touchdown. His fourth throw in the scrimmage goes 50 yards through the air, and it's a 75-yard play for a touchdown. And everybody said he might just win the starting quarterback job. That's in the scrimmage. He had a great jamboree, and it's been just a fabulous first 4 games for Arch Manning.
2 weeks ago against Bonneville, first play of the game, 54 yards, Manning to Sutherland on the go route.
Pleasant again. Joseph Pleasant, and he's very close to another first down. Talbot on the tackle for Country Day.
It's part of the Talbot family right there on that tackle. That's a young Talbot. His older brother was Ross Talbot, was playing for that Country Day team last year in that 11-1 run that they had. Good football family, good football athletes.
And we are reaching the hydration break here in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left to play. We'll be back. Newman cruising 31-13.
Lamarck Lincoln is now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's state of the art. You're gonna love walking into the Lincoln store. 8 years here in New Orleans, you couldn't even buy one? LL, Lamarck Lincoln is back.
Toothache.
Gingivitis.
Plaque.
Cavity.
Tartar.
Tooth decay.
Gum disease.
Abscess tooth.
What's that?
A feeling.
Not a frown.
A bridge?
You mean I need a root canal?
Come on, man.
The only thing worse than hearing those words is hearing that your dentist can't see you right away. Call Louisiana Dental Center. We'll see you today.
Lamarck Lincoln is now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's state of the art. You're gonna love walking into the Lincoln store. 8 years here in New Orleans, you couldn't even buy one? LL, Lamarck Lincoln is back.
Nelson Stewart excited for Arch Manning because he is the first freshman ever to start for the Newman Greenies. But he's also excited as Country Day jumps with a drawn offside. It's going to be against the defense. But also, he's excited because
defense number 70, 5-yard penalty, first down.
He said in all of his coaching career, it's the first time he ever had the chance to coach the son of a teammate, as he and Cooper were teammates here at Newman.
Right.
And that's meant something those two things meant something very special to him.
Well, it is very special when you get to coach the son of somebody either you've played with or somebody you've grown up with. It's very special to let them know they're entrusting their son to you to be able to coach him.
That's a validation of
right, correct.
Your staying power, your coaching acumen, what you can do for a program. And Nelson Stewart, he's just done it all. 113 and 42 overall in his 14th year as a head coach. 21 years overall at Newman. 11-2 last year. They were made it to the semifinals, had the appearance there. But again, every player on this team is Pleasant, takes it into the end zone for his 4th touchdown on the night. Every Newman player will tell you the most important thing to them is they'd like to do something that hasn't been done by any of the great names we've talked about tonight, and that is be able to stand in that championship game and hoist that state championship trophy. That's what they all want.
Well, if you just saw him right there on that shot, he's having a lot of fun. I mean, this, and that's what it's about, is not only having fun with the game, but he's having fun with his kids. And another walk-in touchdown, just wearing down more defensive players from Country Day.
And it's good. So we will take a break. 38-13, Newman with the lead. Well, Joseph Pleasant, what a night he's had. We probably won't see him anymore, but look at these numbers.
22 rushes, 143 yards, 3 TDs. He's just worn him down. He's handled off.
3 rushing and
right,
1 pass.
And then 1 in the air, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, he's had a great night, and like I said, he has just worn down that Country Day defense.
7-play, 59-yard drive, took 3:34, and it was capped off by Pleasant's 4th touchdown on the evening, 3rd rushing touchdown, this one coming from 7 yards out. What a night. Rusty's a young man, you have earned it. And you can see how he and Arch Manning and a great core of receivers, that's a powerful 2A team. A very, very powerful 2A team. Sutherland on the return, and it's important for Country Day now just to use and do what Country Day can do. Start tossing that ball. Joe Chango telling that right now to his quarterback, Justin Ibieta, the Tulane Green Wave commit. And as fun as it's being and it's been watching him in high school, I'll tell you what, I just think when he gets to Tulane, and that commitment I think is one that's going to hold with his dad having played there, his sister on the volleyball team there. I think when he gets there in that Will Hall offense, he is going to be so exciting to watch. Green Wave fans have something special coming up with this young man for the next 4 years.
Well, he's got a great future in front of him. He's a great athlete, and he's only going to get better as he continues to be coached and progresses in the offensive progression of Tulane next year.
And the young man who just made that tackle, Brandon Williams, again, he's the Virginia commit. He had as many as 17 offers, including Tulane, LSU, Florida, Arkansas, goodness gracious, Tennessee, Kentucky. Who else is in there? Kansas, even Les Miles offered him. We're trying to get him down there. Ibieta, nowhere to go. Gets 2 yards and is brought down by Joshua Capel.
You know, they're down by a bunch of points right now. What he can't do, what Ibieta can't do, is he can't take licks like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got a whole season. I believe they start district next week, if I'm not mistaken. They open up with St. Martin's in district play. He's got to be healthy for the next weeks to come as they progress through that district schedule. So right now he needs to just slide when he's got to run. He just can't take a hit.
And this is a rivalry game for Country Day and for Newman, so you're going to do some things you wish you wouldn't. And did he intentionally ground that one? Or not intentionally, throw it away?
Yeah, there's the flag.
That's going to be.
Yes. He's walking away with his hands open, but young man who intentionally grounded that ball. Or should I say grounded the ball? I don't think he intentionally. I hate the way they use the word intentionally. You know, it's like I really wanted to do that, right?
League man downfield. The offense number 54. That penalty is declined. Intentional grounding on the offense number 13. 5-yard penalty. Lost it down. We're playing 4th down.
That's one of the loss of down penalties that you get in Federation football, the intentional grounding call.
One interesting lineman that Country Day has is number 78, Christian Rizzi. His dad is Darren Rizzi, the Saints special teams coordinator. And when his dad was being interviewed by the Saints and being hired, and he took the job, he asked for a recommendation in a couple of schools. Country Day was one. He was looking at it. He's a Jersey guy. Meets Chango, Jersey guy. They hit. They boom, become best friends. Suddenly, his son Christian is here at Country Day, and he's got 2 younger sons coming up. They're all going to be good. Christian Rizzi, son of Darren Rizzi, the New Orleans Saints special teams coordinator. Timeout.
That's an interesting story.
Newman.
I knew it. Jersey guys usually hit it off together.
Yes, they do. Let's take a look at the schedules. Newman first. And the Newman Greenies have shown that they're just about ready to play with anybody. And you got Booker T. Washington and St. Thomas Aquinas, always a tough one. Have to go to Hammond for that one. Riverside's always tough. Don't ever let them believe that they're rebuilding there. St. Charles Catholic and Newman, I think, is a headliner. that everybody's going to want to see. It's too bad they can't move that game here to Yeoman Stadium. Then at Cohen and South Plaquemines. But this is a Newman team that could run the table. They've got the tools.
That October 25th is going to say a lot about this Newman football team. Okay, in the new stadium out of St. Charles Catholic, they just put up a new home side out there. That's going to be packed to the brim in Laplace.
Yeah, it will. Boy, low kick just got off Philibert. Called for the catch. Country Day flags down first, and we'll talk about the Country Day schedule in just a moment. Let's sort out these flags, and we'll get that Country Day schedule up in just a moment. We will. Eddie Allamore, our referee. These guys always call a good game, and it's a good crew, solid crew.
They're gonna. Right now, they're discussing dinner.
Reggie Nelly's Pizzeria.
Right.
Who's going to make the call to make sure that the order called in at halftime gets here right after the game? Good crew. But Joe Chango's team, look, they're down on, they're actually up on numbers, but when you look at 1A, you don't have the numbers sometimes.
Dead ball penalty, personal foul. Number 26 on the return team, 15-yard penalty will play first down.
And that was Thomas Kerrigan, the nickelback. Country Day schedule coming up. They've got some buys in there. They've only got...
Right. Well, they had a hard time scheduling. We talked about that earlier. And Joe Chango's not afraid to play anybody. It's just getting them to play him. So say you play up in schedule and you get beat by a 1A school. Not good, right?
Right.
The guys that are your size, the 1A schools or 2A schools, they don't want to play you. After coming off an 11-1 schedule from last year. But they open district play with St. Martin's next year, which is vastly improved. All right. West St. John, one of the better 1A football teams in the state. They've got Ben Franklin, so they've got some tough ones coming down the road there.
Well, I thought Pleasant might be done for the evening, but not so. He is in there and running the football. So is Arch Manning, who's been lifted in some of these games way before this point in the fourth quarter. But this group's staying in there. And again, Chango, as you said, it's hard to schedule when you've got a very solid football team and a quarterback like Justin Ivietta. And that's why he has had to play up. As a 1A, he played East Jeff,
right,
5A.
Look, I've been there. I've coached from 1A all the way up to 5A in all classifications, okay? And when you have a great season like an 11-1 last year as a AA team, you got to remember they moved back down to 1A this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to schedule when it comes around to reclassification and scheduling. Again, the big schools are scared of you, all right? And the little schools, your size schools, don't want to touch you. So what do? You start calling out of state, all right? And sometimes, they just don't want to play you because they're going to do their research and find out what size school you are over in Louisiana.
And if you're joining us late, it's been all Arch Manning and this guy running the football, Joe Pleasant, breaking tackles and just busting his way through everyone out to the 41-yard line and moving the chains. Tyler Williams on the tackle. You're looking at a very tired Country Day defense where 9 of 11 players have to play both ways because of injuries and a roster that only has 42 players on it.
Well, that's 5'9", 200 pounds and acting its will, man. I mean, that's exactly what it is. Joe Pleasant has had a great night. He's a fine running back. To date, he's had 45 carries coming in tonight, 275 yards and 3 touchdowns. We've seen him catch the football. He's got great hands. He's a great addition to the throwing game for Newman. And that's going to help Arch Manning down the road.
Yeah, he's a solid package, and it's just fun to watch him play. Again, only with juniors. You missed Wade saying that. So these two will be a force for the next 2 years. I don't know if he can get any stronger. That's all muscle right there. There's no baby fat there.
Well, he's built like you.
No, I said there was no baby fat there. A little trouble with the headset.
Well, you're back in the weight room. You told me you're back in the weight room getting those workouts in. It's good. Good for you. Good for you.
It's the blueberries.
It's the blueberries.
There you go.
There you go. Helps with the memory.
Newman, no hurry to snap. They're using as much clock as possible as it ticks down here, and they've got this one well in hand, 38-13. And they're in a shotgun victory formation, and we won't see any fake kneels here. Arch Manning, I knew from the beginning, just watching him go from scrimmage number 1 to jamboree number 1 to the first 3 games, that they had something special because of him, because he's a Manning, because this Newman team has all come together. It's going to be fun watching him for the next 4 years. And it's fun just letting him be, as his family said, let him be a 15-year-old freshman, not deal with the media, just have fun with his teammates and focus on football, focus on the field. And that's what they're doing.
Well, a lot of that's going to be handled by Nelson Stewart, okay? Nelson Stewart will make sure he manages and he controls how Arch handles all of that publicity, should we say, positive as well as negative.
And
he
Joe
will
Pleasant
act as the cushion to all of that.
And Joe Pleasant finished with 26 carries for 179 yards. So we will take a break and be back with our post games right after this from Yeoman Stadium. 38-13 Newman, a winner over Country Day. Newman stays undefeated.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
Having a collision center on the premises where you sell new and used vehicles is a dream come true. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. It's open now. One thing about us, we strive for perfection. Our pre-owned department is magnificent. We are Kelly Blue Book authorized dealer. All makes and models, we're buying them every day. We will purchase your vehicle. We will pay off your existing loan, whether you buy a car or not.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
High school football from Crescent City Sports on Cox Sports Television is brought to you by Lamar Ford. See all the huge things happening at the big store in Kenner. By the All-State Sugar Bowl, sponsor of all LHSAA championship events. By NOLA Lending Group, your home field advantage. And by Riverlands Insurance, meeting all your insurance needs. And by Louisiana Dental Centers, your dental home team. Welcome back to Yeoman Stadium. Final score, Newman stays undefeated by defeating Country Day 38-13. We are joined by Nelson Stewart, the winning coach of Newman. And Coach Nelson Stewart, congratulations on the win. Give us your comments on the game.
I think it was, I thought we did a really nice job. We controlled the line of scrimmage. I think that was the biggest thing we talked about. I thought we won the battle up front. You know, we did this one. It did need to become a shootout. Can't tell you how much I respect Justin Ibieta. He's just a phenomenal football player. Did a great first half. We were able to control the line of scrimmage. You know, wear him down a little bit. Joseph Crecent, our offensive line, will run to tight end, just running between the tackles. I thought Arch was fantastic, working on 4-minute drill, bleeding that clock down. And look, that's a great win against a really good opponent.
All right, Nelson, and Wade Kaiser here.
How you doing, buddy?
All right, buddy. Hey, great win tonight. I know it's a huge rivalry and a big win for you. You guys always have gone through the ringer back and forth between Country Day and Newman. But I'm telling you, this is the second time I've seen Arch now. Okay, he doesn't look like a freshman. What do you think?
No, I don't think he does. I mean, Coach, you know, he worked all summer 7-on-7, and then again, he's really worked hard to understand offensive play. He's not one of those guys that's just reading the window. He didn't panic. He understood the situation. I thought he really got us out of some tough plays early. Really, the ball distribution was there, and he's very special, and he's got a great group of seniors and a great support system around him. So, yeah, he's a pretty special quarterback.
Nelson, you're very balanced. Joe Pleasant tonight, 26 carries, 179 yards. Says a lot about the balance in your offense.
Yeah, that's what we want. I think the biggest thing with Joseph is he's powerful, he's patient. patient. We're built on a power run. That's what we did against East Jefferson. Jermone Sutherland's getting double-teamed over the top. We worked our slots, and you just have to be patient. Play the numbers game. I think for us, our defense kept putting us in great positions. And, yeah, we want to go with power football. That's what we're about this year. Work hard in the weight room. And, again, up front, offensive line. And, again, Joseph Pleasant, week in, week out, has been great for us.
Well, the big thing about Joseph Pleasant, Coach, and you know this, it's going to help Arch Manning mature.
Yeah, I think
right. It's going to take a lot of pressure off him.
Right, and he knows that, and that's the biggest thing. You don't want to feel like you have to put the game on your shoulders. We were going to win as a team. You can't do it with one person. That's our biggest thing. Win with the team, 11 on the field, and Joseph really embodies, I think, what we wanted tonight. And, just like you said, just a great offensive effort all around.
Well, great job. You guys open up district next week. St. Martin's has gotten a lot better with an old Newman greenie, Frank Chindusa.
Yeah, I wish I was playing. Actually, that's Country Day. They're the 1As. We're playing Booker T. Washington.
Oh, you got Booker T.
No,
my goodness.
Look, hey, I love Frank Chindusa. Anytime I say his name, I wouldn't be here without him, so it works out.
Right, I know. I was looking at that, and I was thinking about Frank because we go way back also.
Yeah.
Right.
Nelson, I want to thank you very much for being with us. Congratulations again on the win. Big win. You stay undefeated, and, man, you guys look unstoppable.
Kenny, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all's coverage of our two great schools, and it was a great night. Thank you, man.
Good deal.
Gotcha.
Wade, as we...
Well, final thoughts. I think it was attrition right there. Newman just pounded and pounded and pounded, stuck to their game plan, didn't panic when it was a 1-point game. Arch Manning is as advertised. But Joseph Pleasant's tonight behind a physical offensive line just wearing down Country Day because of the numbers that they have to play both ways was, tremendous. And I know Nelson Stewart's happy about his offensive line and how they were able to pound that defensive line.
And again, just having the opportunity to watch Arch Manning and see what might happen with Joe Pleasant, Arch Manning, and an explosive Newman offense. And look, Justin and I bet it. To watch what's going to happen with Country Day, they could run the table the rest of the way. Going to be a lot of fun. Wade, thank you very much, and want to thank our entire crew. Thanks for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed this. Crescent City Sports has more high school football tomorrow night at 7 when John Curtis and St. Augustine face off right here at Yeoman Stadium. Then next Friday night, join us on CST and Crescent City Sports for a classic rivalry matchup. The 100th meeting of Jesuit and Holy Cross from Tad Gormley Stadium. Our coverage begins at 7 p.m. For Wade Kaiser and our entire crew, I'm Ken Berthelot saying so long from Uptown. Your final score, Newman 38, Country Day 13.